Hello, fictional. Welcome to the What If Issei. Today we are gonna see what if Issei was raised by Yasaka. Part 1. If you end up liking this video, please consider subscribe, so without further ado, let's get into the video. Kyoto, the city located in the central part of the island of Honshu, Japan. Formerly the imperial capital of Japan. It is a place as full of quiet temples, sublime gardens, colorful shrines and geishas scurrying to secret liaisons. The air is fresh and views in Kyoto are true beauty. Kyoto is a very beautiful place and it's very peaceful. Okay, not so peaceful. Around the corner of Kyoto. A young girl with an appearance of an elementary school student was cornered. She has a golden blonde hair that is tied a ponytail and matching eyes. She wears a traditional Maiko outfit and tall jeta with white tabi. The sleeves of her haori features a giant red star-shaped pentagram on the sleeves, surrounded by 5 smaller pentagrams in between the point. She has 9 golden fox tails and matching ears. Go away. The young girl shouted in a tone filled with fear. My. Looks like we have a feisty one. Hahaha. She's cute. So this is the daughter of Kyoto's ruler. There's 4 devils walking towards her slowly. They're having evil smiles. Stay away. Boom. The young girl shouted once again and this time, she pushed both of her hands forward and created a small fireball. Ah. One of the devils smacked the small fireball away easily. Now that's rude. The devils are now pissed. We need to teach you some discipline. Do it quick. Before her mother arrives here. Yay. Your mommy won't be here to save you. One of the devils grabbed the little girl in her neck, suffocating her. He was about to attack the little girl. The girl shut her eyes tightly. There's tears coming from her eyes. Can't breathe, haha. Someone. Please help me. Hey. What are you doing? The 4 devils turned their heads to see a young boy about the age of the little girl. He has a slightly spiky brown hair with the same eyes color. He wears a tattered open black t-shirt with another red t-shirt inside. He wears a matching tattered black pants and wears no shoes. There's also dirt on his face. Hey? Who the hell are you, brat? He's just a human boy. Scram, brat. If you don't want to die, you better run. The little boy got into battle stance. I won't run away. You guys are the bad guys. Leave the girl alone. If you won't run then die. The other 3 devils charged towards the boy. Boosted gear. Dragon booster. The moment the boy made an announcement out loud, a red dragon-like claw-shaped gauntlet with yellow accents, with green inscription and a green jewel on the top of his palm area, appeared on his left hand. He has a sacred gear and he can use it at this age. The devils were surprised by the fact that the little boy can summon his sacred gear. Boost. Another announcement was made once again. Get him. The devils tried to catch him, but the boy is nimble. He dodged them with ease. Boost. Oh come on. He's just a human child. How hard can he be for you 3? The devil who was still holding the little girl got frustrated for seeing his kin having hard time dealing with a mere child. Boost. Black can't get me. The boy stick his tongue out while continue to dodge them. Just kill him already. Boost. When the little fox girl felt that the grip around her neck has loosened, she took her chances and shot another fireball at the devil. In the face. The devil lost his grip, thus releasing the fox girl. Boost. Now's your chance. Run. The brown-haired boy ordered the little fox girl to run. What about you? I'll be fine. Now go. I will go get help. The little fox girl ran away after saying that. Boost. That should be enough, Drag-san. Explosion. The little boy's power increased tremendously. Evil people. I will defeat you for bullying a girl. Here I go. The little boy placed his hand forward and a tiny red energy sphere appeared in his palm. You're going to stop us with that tiny energy sphere. The devils started laughing at the little boy. Dragon shot. The boy ignored their laugh, used his left gauntlet and punched the tiny red sphere. Kaboom. Without having a chance to react, the 4 devils were hit by the beam of energy fired by the little boy. And he did it. The little boy single-handedly defeated 4 devils. Thud. But he collapsed onto the ground. Akasama. He's right here. Just as the little fox girl promised, she came back with help. She's pulling a hand of a young woman with a voluptuous figure and golden blonde hair with matching eyes. The young woman is too dressed in a shrine maiden attire. Coming behind her were several Tengus wearing some ancient Chinese armors. The young woman looked at the situation and kneeled down to look at the condition of the unconscious little boy. Boy, are you alright? She asked him worriedly. Brule. Everyone was suddenly surprised by that noise. The boy's eyes were swirling. So hungry. It seems like he's down from starvation. Heh. The young woman couldn't help but chuckled a little. Akasama, is he going to be alright? The little girl looked at her mother worriedly. He's going to be alright. We'll take him back to our home. The young woman carried the unconscious little boy in her arms and was about to leave until she saw those defeated devils. Teng-san, please seize those criminals. Hi, Yasaka-sama. The Tengu nodded his head and seized those devil. At the Imperial Palace. The little boy rubbed his eyes gently and got up from the bed tiredly. He looked around and found himself in an unknown location. He's currently in a spacious room. And he's been tucked into a bed. His clothes has been changed as well. He's currently wearing a white yukata. He looked around the room curiously. Looks like you're awake. The boy jumped a little when he suddenly heard a feminine yet sweet voice. He turned his head just to see two huge breasts in front of him. The little boy looked up a little and was finally managed to see the young woman's face. He then noticed that the little fox girl that he saved was timidly hiding behind the young woman. The young woman placed a tray in front of him, and on that tray consists a bowl of rice, a plate of roasted pork, some vegetables and a small bowl of miso soup. Drool. His stomach sang once again. The young boy's eyes were glittering and he started to drool at the food in front of him. Eat up. The young woman said it with a smile. Really? The boy asked her in both surprised and happy tone. The young woman just nodded her head. Thank you. The little boy started wolfing down the food in front of him. Heh. Try to eat it slowly. In just 2 minutes, the boy finished his meals. Cleanly. Do I thank you for the food, pretty lady? Heh. You're welcome. I should thank you as well for saving my daughter. My name is Hyoudou Issei. The boy replied her cheerfully. Hyoudou Issei, is it okay if I call you Ice? Yes please. The young woman looked at her back and encouraged her daughter to introduce herself as well. Go on, introduce yourself to him. The little fox girl was reluctant for a moment but complied in the end. Hello. My name is Kuoh, thank you for saving my life. She said that while her cheeks were red from shyness. Nice to meet you, Kuoh. Then I guess it's my turn to introduce myself. I am Kuno's mother, Yasaka. Hello, Yasaka-san. Yasaka then decided to ask Issei. Ai-san, can I ask you something? Yes. Did you know that the people you just faced were devils? Yes. How? Greg told me. Yasaka widened her eyes when she heard that answer. Greg? You mean one of the 2 heavenly dragons? Yes. I can show you as well. Boosted gear. Dragon booster. The red gauntlet appeared immediately on his left hand. Yasaka widened her eyes even more. This boy can activate his sacred gear in such a young age, he must be gifted. Hello, leader of Kyoto Youkai Faction. A sudden voice came out from nowhere and greeted Yasaka. Did that voice came from the gauntlet? Yasaka asked Issei. Deep. Thank you for saving this boy. He hasn't eaten anything for 3 days. No. I should thank you and Ai-san for saving my daughter. Don't thank me. Even I was surprised he even managed to pull off something like that after having an empty stomach for 3 days. Where are your parents? Yasaka asked a question that caused Issei to show a sad smile. I have no papa or mama, Drag was the one looking after me. I'm sorry. Issei shook his head. It's alright. Drag taught me many things. He is my first and my only best friend. Yasaka thought about something for a moment. Why don't you stay with us from now on? Both Issei and Kuoh were surprised by Yasaka's suggestion. Oh, Akasama. You have no place to stay for now, right? Yasaka asked. Issei just nodded his head. I can offer you the place to stay from now on. Think of it as a gratitude for saving Kuoh. Starting from today, you can live here like it's your home. Yasaka said that with a warm smile. Thank you. Issei immediately hugged onto Yasaka happily. Yasaka first widens her eyes due to the surprise hug but soon smiles and she pats his back gently. Ice, there will also training program for you too. Issei tilted his head cutely. Training program? Yes. You are the Red Dragon Emperor. There will be enemies that will target you in the future. Okay. I will take the training program. Issei just agreed without any second thoughts. I will make some contacts and you will meet your masters tomorrow. Okay. Hi. Yasaka then looked at her daughter. Looks like you're going to have a new friend, Kuoh. I hope you two can get along. Yasaka patted both Issei's and Kuno's heads gently while smiling warmly. She then left to leave the kids to let them have their moments. Outside the Imperial Palace. The next morning, Issei, Kuoh and Yasaka were standing in the garden and were waiting for someone to arrive. Yasaka-san, why are we standing here for? Issei asked Yasaka while tilting his head innocently. Yasaka just smiled and answered him. We're here to meet your maestad. Wahahaha. Sorry for being late. Now, where is my so-called student? Zam. The lightning strikes down from the sky and a young man with long black hair appears in front of them. He is currently wearing a white robe with red accents, with a matching white pants. His robe is left opened, showing his muscular figures. Susanoo, enough with your flashy entries. The flame suddenly bursts right next to the muscular young man and young woman with buxom figure and has identical hair as the young man. She wears traditional attire of a Maiko. She has a golden tiara on her head. You sure never change, brother. The tall slender man with long pale hair that he wears in a ponytail and red eyes suddenly appears right next to them without any flashy moves. He is also wearing glasses and a coat and uniform. He looks more civilized compared the other two. My. Am I the last one to arrive? The meter-tall old man arrives while sitting on a floating cloud. He is covered in golden fur and his face is wrinkled and creased. He is also seen carrying a staff-like weapon, prayer beads on his forehead, wearing shades and smoking a pipe. Wow. Who are these people? They look so awesome. Issei was all hyped for seeing these 4 people standing in front of him. There's stars in his eyes. Yasaka then decided to introduce them to him. They are gods. Gods? Yes. Those 3 are Shinto gods, Susanoo, Amaterasu, and Tsukiyomi. There are siblings. The last one is the famous Monkey King, son WuKong. The Kyoto Youkai Faction and the Shinto gods faction are in a very good relationship, they are willing to help you in your training. Son WuKong has been my friend for a long time. Hello. Nice to meet you all. Please take care of me from now on. Issei waved at them and greeted them with a big smile. Susanoo looked at the little Issei curiously. Yasaka, this kid is the Red Dragon Emperor. Yes he is, Susanoo Dono. He's pretty bold. For him to not shiver in front of us. Susanoo showed a big grin when he said that. He then continued. Kid, I will be in charge of your hand-to-hand combats and weapons combats. And my abilities. Amaterasu then stepped forward. I will teach you magic and my abilities as well. Tsukiyomi followed after his siblings. I'm specialized in seals and illusions. I will teach you that. And lastly, son WuKong. I shall teach you Senjutsu and Tauki. And if there's time I would like to teach you something which I would like to call hockey. Son WuKong whispered the last part on Issei's ear. Issei's eyes were glittering when he heard the things they were about to teach him. And I shall learn them all. He said that happily. Son WuKong then picked Issei up and put the boy on his floating cloud. I'll have him on Monday. Oh look, today is Monday. Bye. Son WuKong took off after saying that cheerfully. The Shinto gods trio, Yasaka and Kunu looked at each other, not knowing what to say. I'll have him on Tuesday. Then I'll take him on Wednesday. Susanoo first broke the cold ice and Tsukiyomi followed after his older brother. Moo. Su-chan and Su-chan. Not fair. Amaterasu started to protest as she was the last one to train Issei. She started scolding her older brother and younger brother. Susanoo ignored his younger sister and looked towards Yasaka. Yasaka Dono. Amaterasu will be the one bringing the kid back here every weekends. Oh okay. Yasaka paused for a moment before replying the god of sea and storm. Well then, I'm off to watch son training that kid. So am I. Hey. Get back here. I'm not done with you too. Su-chan. Su-chan. Just like that, Susanoo and Tsukiyomi took off. Amaterasu followed after them while yelling at her older brother and her younger brother. Time skipped 9 years later at the realm of heaven. Issei is now standing in front of his masters. He is now a 14-years-old boy. With all those training he has been through, his body has been built well. With only being a 14 years old, he has no useless fats in his body. Susanoo, Amaterasu, Tsukiyomi and son WuKong all looked at their disciple proudly. Susanoo then decided to speak. 9 years have passed since you started your training with us and you've learned everything that we've taught you. I am proud to say that you have completed your training, Ice. Susanoo said that with a big smile. Thank you for your times. I've enjoyed every moments of my training with you all. Issei said that with a toothy grin. Amaterasu had napkin on her hand to wipe her tears. She's feeling a little sad. Issei was about to leave them. She sees Issei as her new little brother and loves him like she loves her brothers. She made a small smile when she heard that. Tsukiyomi and son WuKong just smiled happily for seeing Issei all grown up. Now that you have completed your training and is about to return to Kyoto, each and every one of us has something to give you as a parting gift. Really? Issei was both happy and surprised. Susanoo first stepped forward. He raised his right hand and manifested a katana and handed it to Issei. Issei looked at the katana for a moment and unsheathed it to see its blade. Shine. The blade ridge is black in color and there's glowing red swirling like patterns on it. It looked like a raging storm. Issei could felt the power of the Japanese sword and in his eyes, it's a true beauty. This is a divine sword, Ama no Murakumo no Tsurugi. It's also called Kusanagi no Tsurugi. I am passing this sword to you. Be sure to use it wisely, alright? Okay. This is its current form, but it can change into dagger size or broadsword size. Its length can be increased into a longsword's length as well. You can make it into a one-hand style or two-hand style. You can also create another copy of it and makes you able to dual wield it. SHK. Thank you, Susanoo-sama. Issei sheathed the katana back and thanked the god of sea and storm. Amaterasu then stepped forward. She bent down slightly to Issei's level. I will give you the sacred flames from an ancient extinct dragon. Issei tilted his head a little. Ancient extinct dragon. Amaterasu smiled a little and nodded her head. Yep. It's a celestial dragon. A celestial dragon. A celestial dragon. Drake suddenly popped out from nowhere and said that in a shocked tone. You know him, Drake? No, I don't. I've never met one before. I only know that they existed before me and the White One. Legend said that there used a group of dragons that have the power that rivals both God and Satan, the celestial dragons. Really? What happened to them? Issei then asked his left hand, Drake, for more information. No idea. One after another, they started dying. Their populations reduced drastically. They soon became a mere legend, a story, a myth. After hearing Drake's story, Amaterasu brought her together and an ordinary-looking flame appeared on her palms. I received this flame from a dying fire celestial dragon. He said that this flame is also known as the flame of emotion. I did some research and I found out that the power of this flame depends on the user's feelings. The stronger your feeling is, the more powerful the flame will be. When you acquired this flame, you can consume your respective element, with the exception of that which you has created, to replenish your energy reserves. So I can eat fire? Yes, you can. Cool. Amaterasu then gently pushed her palms forward and the flame just floated towards calmly. Issei caught the flame gently and placed the flame onto his chest, allowing the flame to enter his heart. Amaterasu then remembered something. Please remember the things on what I'm about to say, okay? The dying fire celestial dragon said this to me on his last breath. The flame will judge and accept the ones that are worthy. It means that you've passed the test. But don't ever get drunken by domination, alright? Knowing what Amaterasu meant, Issei nodded his head strongly. You promise? Amaterasu then raised her right hands with only her pinky out. Pinky promise. Issei grinned and raised his left hand. Pinky promise. Their pinkies then entwined. Jew. Issei widened his eyes when Amaterasu gently kissed his forehead. Good boy. Amaterasu's action and her warm smile made Issei blush a little. It was then Tsukiyomi's turn. Issei stiffened slightly when he saw Moon God walking towards him. Out of the four gods, Tsukiyomi was the strictest amongst them. He's not technically strict, just taking the training more serious than the others. Tsukiyomi smiled a little when he saw Issei's stiffened face. Relax, Ice. He then raises his right hand and taps Issei's forehead with his right index finger and middle finger. Issei widened his eyes when he felt that his visions were changing. His pupils have changed from the usual brown to red and have developed 3 tomo in both eyes. Tsukiyomi-sama, this is. Issei was surprised by the sudden change in his visions. Issei could now see the flow of energy coming from the Shinto gods trio and the flow of chakra from Sun Wukong clearly. What I've given to you is called Heaven's Eyes. Heaven's Eyes. To put it simple, there's 4 abilities that lies within those eyes. The first and mostly, Heaven's Eyes has the ability is to memorize any technique that it is a witness to. It can memorize magic, illusions, and hand-to-hand combats with perfect accuracy and allow you to use the techniques so long as you have the necessary resources to do so. Second, it has the ability to predict an opponent's movement as well as allowing to track fast-moving objects with great clarity. Third, it is capable of a unique brand of hypnosis that involves suggesting actions and thoughts to the opponent. In this case, you can easily cast those illusions with the eyes easily. Fourth, it allows you to see through illusions. But the level of which is possibly will have to deepen dent on your skill. Wow. That's awesome. Thank you. Tsukiyomi smiled once again and rubbed Issei's head gently. You just used it wisely, alright. Those eyes drain your staminas as well. Then I'll just have to improve myself even more and increase my stamina. Issei said it while being all pumped up. And lastly, Sun Wukong. Looks like I'm the last one to give you a parting gift. Give me a moment, please. Sun Wukong whistled hard as if he's calling something. Boosh. The golden cloud flew towards Issei in high speed and stopped just an inch away from him. This is Kintan. It's the same cloud that I'm sitting right now. You ride on him as your transportation. Thanks, Wukong-sama. When Issei was about to leave, Susanoo said something to him out loud. Ice. When you need our help or wish to talk to us, just feel free to come anytime you want. We, the Shinto faction, are on your side. See you all next time. And with that, Issei returned back to Kyoto and continued to hone his skills even more. Time skip another 3 years later at the Imperial Palace. Susu. The young man around 17 to 18 years old was sleeping on a futon with a beautiful golden blonde girl at his age next to him. They had their arms wrapped around each other in their sleep. Is it morning already? The brown-haired boy moved his brown eyes and looked at the alarm clock right next to him. It's only 6 a.m. The young man sat up and gently shook the girl beside him, trying to wake her up. Kunu, wake up. It's morning already. Just a little longer ice. The golden blonde girl, Kunu, said that sleepily and tightened her grip around the boy, Issei. She then nuzzled into the Issei's yukata. Now let me first explain how this happened. Ever since Issei started living with Yasaka and Kunu, both kids had interacted with each other more. When Issei came back during the weekends, he'll tell Kunu about the things that happened, and Kunu slowly began to open up to him even more. The two then turned from acquaintance into friends, then into best friends, and as time flows, two of them began to have feelings for one another, thus becoming lovers. Their relationships as lovers are even approved by Yasaka. The total of 12 years have passed, and Issei has grown from a little boy to a young man with a muscular body and his toned build. He is respected by the Youkai living in the Youkai territory, just as he respected them. Kunu, on the other hand, has grown from a little girl to a young woman with a voluptuous figure. She has grown to be a fine and beautiful woman. A true elegant princess. Issei made a small smile and shook her once again. Come on, I still have morning training to do. Kunu got up slowly and said something that made the young man blush. Just forget that training and we can have our own training. She said that in a seductive tone as she crawled towards Issei slowly. Her kimono was already loosened, allowing Issei to see her massive breasts. She then sat on Issei's lap and wrapped her hands around his neck. Geez, what would your people think if they see you like this? I don't care about what they think. As long as Issei likes it, I'll do it. Issei moved forward a bit and… Kunu widened her eyes when she felt the sensation of something warm and soft on her lips. Issei's lips were overlapping Kunu's. He then sent his tongue into her mouth and their tongues intertwined. Sooner than they think, their breathings were getting heavier and in sync, and their body temperature increased significantly. As they broke it off slowly, a thread of saliva was going through Issei's and Kunu's mouth. Is that enough for now? Issei asked her while giving a small smile. Kunu, on the other hand, was blushing heavily. Come on, it's time to go. Issei stood up and offered Kunu a hand. Kunu remained silent but took his hand and got up from the futon. On the training field. Issei entered the field while wearing a black dogi with red accents and a matching kung fu pants and shoes. There's bandages on his hands as well. Kunu was following behind him while wearing her traditional Maiko outfit. The brown hair boy stopped when he sensed something was approaching towards him from above. Issei looked up to see a bald guy, wearing a light grey monk's robe, a Youkai in human form, was descending down from the air and was about to deliver a mid-air downward axe kick. Issei just sidestepped and delivered palm strike onto the bald guy's chest, sending him flying a couple meters away from them. Four more Youkai popped out from the bushes close to them and tried to strike Issei as well. Out of four of them, one was holding a staff and another was holding a bakken. Whoosh. Whoosh. Pa. Whoosh. Pa. Whoosh. 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 Pa. Four-person were desperate trying to land a hit on Issei. But the young man just dodged with ease and countered their blows. He then delivered a strong punch at the air that created shockwave, which sent all four of them flying 10 meters away from him. Hiding your presence is fine. But shouting before you attack gives your location away to your enemies. Issei told the mistake the four Youkai have made. He then looked around the training room and smirked. I know you're all there. There's no point of hiding anymore. You all come at me if you guys want to. Within 10 seconds, more than 40 Youkai were charging towards him. Some came from bushes while others came from the roofs. That's right. Bring it on. After 20 minutes. Issei was taking his time to catch his breath. His dogi was wet due to him perspiring. Ugh. Ouch. Surrounding him was a total number of 60 people lying on the ground. Are you alright, Ice? Issei looked up to see Kunu was in front of him and she's offering him a towel. Yay. I'm fine. Thank you, Kunu. Issei smiled and accepted the towel from his love. One of the Youkai then said this out loud. Damn. We still can't defeat Waka. Wah. How can we call ourselves Yasaka-sama's bodyguards when we can't even touch Waka, who is a human? The second one started man crying. Issei showed a bitter smile as he didn't know whether he should take that as a compliment. Now. Cheer up, guys. You guys really gave me a good run for my money. And for that, I'll cook you guys breakfasts. All the yokai who were supposed to be dead tired sprung out from the ground. Waka's cooking. We get to eat Waka's cooking. Whoa. I'm so happy to be alive. Let's go clean ourselves up quickly and head to the dining room. The yokai started getting all hyped and rushed towards the bathroom. Issei looked at the dust they left behind. Disbelieved at their reaction. What's with them? He turned to ask Kuoh. Can't you see that they're fond of your cooking? Is my cooking really that tasty? It is. I love Isay's cooking as well. Kuoh said that with a warm smile. At Yasaka's room. After Issei has finished cooking a total number of 60 yokai's meals, he decided to cook some for Yasaka and delivered it to her room. Kuoh was just beside him. Knock. 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 Come in. With Yasaka's permission, both Issei and Kuoh entered the room. Yasaka was sitting on her desk, reading some documents. Ah. Good morning, Kuoh, Ice. She greeted both of them happily. Good morning, Akasama. Good morning, Yasaka-sama. Issei placed the meals on her desk. Thank you, Ice. And please, I told you many times. Call me Haha. Issei smiled bitterly with a sweat drop on his head. That's a bit too much for me. Yasaka smiled when she heard that. I don't think it's too much at all. After all, Kuoh and you are a couple already. Sooner or later, I might be able to see my grandson or granddaughter. Oh, Akasama, what do you mean grandson and granddaughter? Kuoh asked her mother in a surprised tone. Both her face and Issei's were red after hearing that. Yasaka tilted her head a little and placed her index finger under her chin. Well, I mean, the things that you two did during night times sure sounded very amazing. So I thought that maybe I'll see my grandchild or grandchildren very soon. At that moment both Issei's and Kunu's face turned as red as a tomato. My apology for causing you having trouble in sleeping. Issei said embarrassingly. It's alright. It makes me happy instead. To know that both you and Kunu's relationship are going very well. Akasama. Kuoh was very embarrassed by her mother. After Yasaka finished her breakfast made by Issei, she decided to talk to them about something important. Ice. I have an important favor for you. Favor? Issei asked. Yes. Just few days ago, we lost contact with our people who were living in a town area called Kuoh Town. Kuoh Town? Yes. And from what I know, the town is a devil's territory. Devil? Kuoh narrowed her eyes and said that in a small hatred tone. Issei just placed his hand on hers, knowing why she's acting like that. So you want me to go undercover? Issei asked again, and Yasaka nodded her head. I need you to go there and investigate. Your cover will be a high school student at Kuoh Academy. I understand. I'll accept this favor. Thank you. These are your transfer documents. We have a house prepared for you at Kuoh Town. It will be close to your school. Understood. When do I leave? You'll be going to there around evening time. Okay. Then I best get pre. Just when Issei was about to stand up and leave, Kuoh finally decided to speak. Oh, Akasama. I would like to go with Ice as well. Issei widened his eyes when he heard that. Kuoh? You can't go. Didn't you hear what your mother just said? That town is devil's territory. I don't care. I'm going with you. You can't. It's too dangerous. Hey. I'm a yokai, you're a human. I should be saying that to you. But you're Kyoto Youkai Faction's princess. Think of your position as well. I don't care. Issei was doing his best trying to persuade Kuoh for not following him. But Yasaka seems to have predicted that her daughter would say something like that because there's a smile on her face. It's alright, Ice. Kuoh can go with you. Both Issei and Kuoh were surprised by Yasaka's calm words. Yasaka then handed the documents to Kuoh. But Yasaka-sama. It's alright. I trust that you'll take care of Kuoh. I'll leave my daughter in your hands, Ice. Thank you, Akasama. Kuoh hugged her mother for a while and rushed back to her Issei's room to get her things packed. You sure about this, Yasaka-sama? Issei looked at Yasaka worriedly. I won't say that I'm not worried, but I trust that Kuoh feels safe the most when she's with you. So I will allow her to follow you. I understand. I promise you that I will protect Kuoh with my life. Thank you, Ice. Both of you take care, alright? Yes. I'll take my leave now, Yasaka-sama. At Kuoh Town outside Issei's and Kunu's house. It was evening and both Issei and Kuoh had finally arrived at their base. They took the bullet train like regular human being to prevent both suspicions and detections by the devils. Issei looked up and widened his eyes slightly at the house they're staying. It's a huge traditional Japanese house. Surrounding the house are walls that are about 3 meters high and in front of them is a 4 meters high steel gate. If you take a step back, you can see how stand out this house is compared to the houses beside it. Issei made a bitter smile and said this. Why do I get a feeling that I'm not that surprised by the appearance of this house? That's because you've been living in the Imperial Palace for so long. This house is nothing compared to that. True? Then let's go inside and see our house Ice. Kuoh said that shyly while pulling Issei's sleeve, causing the brown-haired boy to chuckle a little. Alright. Let's go into our house. Issei held onto her hand and both of them entered their new house. In Issei's and Kuoh's room. Their bedroom has a huge space with tatami floor. There's also futons prepared in the closets. The house they're staying is so huge that it has a private pool with adjustable temperature in the house, training room, open-air hot spring. Outside the house is a beautiful garden with fish ponds. The young man was looking out the shoji, enjoying the view and the moonlight shining down at him. Zzz mice. Issei turned his head when he heard Kuoh was calling him. Kuoh got up from the futon and was rubbing her eyes tiredly. What woke you up? Issei asked her with a gentle voice. You're not sleeping right next to me. Issei got up from his spot, closed the shoji and walked towards her. He then sat next to her. I'm sorry. You alright? You seemed a bit tensed ever since we've arrived here. I'm okay, it's just that. Just what? You said that you've sensed devils in the school we'll be studying at, right? Yes. A total number of 12. And 4 fallen angels are living at the church area. Issei then noticed that Kuoh's hands were trembling a little. Even though she has grown into a fine woman and her abilities have improved, she still have trouble with the devils. You can say that she fears and hates them at the same time. Issei moved forwards a little and closed the distance between him and Kuoh. He then wrapped his hands around her slim waist. It will be alright, Kuoh. I'm here for you. Kuoh placed her hands on Issei's. Ice, please stay by my side. I will always be with you, Kuoh. Always. Promise? Kuoh turned to look at Issei. Her eyes were wavering. Issei just smiled and brought his face closer to Kuoh's and. "Do cut you chup." He gave Kuoh a surprise deep kiss, causing Kuoh to blush heavily. Sooner than they thought, both of them are having a luong romantic kiss. Their tongues tangled. Issei then pulled away slowly, giving them each other some room to breathe. I promise, Kuoh. I promise that I will stay with you forever. Tears started coming out from her eyes. They're tears of joy. The warm beautiful smile soon appeared on her face. SFF. Without saying anything, Kuoh loosened her kimono, revealing her breasts in front of Issei. She also let out her fox ears and tails. The young man used his left hand and placed it on her back and slid down slowly to her tails. He then rubbed her tails gently. MHMM. Kuoh tried to suppress her voice when she felt the pleasure of Issei rubbing her tails. She loves the way that Issei touches her tails because it gave her a very nice sense of pleasure that turned her on. MMM. Issei continues to rub her tails while Kuoh is still doing her best to suppress her voice until. Hamu. Issei suddenly bit her ear. He couldn't suppress the pleasure any further. Kuoh finally made a sound. She felt a sudden great pleasure going down from her spines. Issei looked down at the futon when he felt that something's wet. Ha ha. Kuoh's panting while her cheeks were slightly red. Of pure instinct, Issei pushed Kuoh down onto the futon. With her kimono now opened, Issei could see her breasts, her waist, her navel, her hip, her thighs, and her crotch. Kuoh was blushing heavily when Issei was staring at her and her body silently. It's not like this is her first time, but she just can't help it but getting embarrassed. Please don't look. You do know that it's just gonna make me wanna look at you even more, right? I know, but still please be gentle. Okay. And in this quiet night, both Issei and Kuoh are deepening their relationships once again. Kuoh Academy. The next morning, Issei and Kuoh woke up early and headed straight to the school after taking their shower and had their breakfast. They did spend more time in the shower to do their things. Both of them were entering the school with their arms linked. And the moment they entered the school premises. Hey look. I think we have some new transfer students. Who are they? Are they a couple? Their arms are linking. They're lovers. The golden blonde girl is so hot. The brown-haired boy is so cute. They got everyone's attention. Looks like we've caught everyone's attention in just one day. So much for keeping a low profile. Kuoh said that with a bitter smile. That's because you're too beautiful. You shine too bright. Issei said that proudly and happily, which caused Kuoh to blush a little. Moo. Don't tease me so much, Ice, but thank you for your compliments. She said that with a happy smile and tightened her arms, bringing her closer to Issei and allowing her head to lean on his shoulder. At the roof of Kuoh Academy. Watching the students entering Kuoh Academy from above are 2 young women. The first one is a young woman who appears to be in her late teens with light skin, blue-green eyes and a buxom figure. Her most distinctive feature is her long crimson-red hair that reaches down to her thighs, with a single hair strand sticking out from the top. Her hair also has loose bangs covering her forehead and side bangs framing her face. She wears the Kuoh Academy girls' school uniform. The second one is a young bespectacled woman in her late teens with a slim figure, black hair styled in a short bob cut and violet eyes. She too is dressed in Kuoh Academy girls' uniform. Both of them were watching the same thing, Issei and Kuoh. What is your first impression about them, Sona? The crimson-haired girl asked the bespectacled girl standing next to her. Nothing much, Riaz. The boy is just a regular human, but what interests me is the golden blonde girl. Really? You're not interested in that boy? I don't mean to be rude, but I see nothing from him. He's just a regular high school boy. Just when both of them were conversing, Issei, who was down below and away from them, suddenly looked up to them and sent them a smirk. His action caused both girls to widen their eyes. Riaz did, he just. I think he did, but could it be a coincidence? I'm not sure. The brown-haired boy's smirk has left both Riaz and Sona a feeling of insecure. At the second-year class. The homeroom teacher entered the class while the students returned to their respective seats. Good morning, everyone. I have some good news for you guys today. We'll be having 2 transferred students joining us in this class. Woo. We have new students coming. I wonder what they look like. I think saw one of them this morning. There's this beautiful girl with golden blonde tied in a ponytail. She's freaking hot. I saw her too. She has a damn buxom figure. I also saw a brown-haired guy. He's hot. And his body is quite muscular. Yes. He looks so wild. The students started to get all wild for getting new students in their class. Calm down, everyone. Calm down. They're just outside the class. The teacher then looked at the door and spoke again. You 2 can enter now. Please come in. Clack. The sound of the door being opened was heard and 2 students entered the classroom. They then wrote their name on the blackboard. Yo. My name is Hyoudou Isay. Pleased to make your acquaintances. I look forward knowing you all. Issei gave them a high sign and introduced himself with a smile. Konnichiwa. Nice to meet you all. My name is Kuoh. Please take care of me from now on. Kuoh said that with an elegant smile and bowed her head beautifully, causing the boys and the girls to blush from seeing her. Okay. Now that the introduction is over, does anyone have any question? The teacher looked around the class and spotted a couple of students raising their hands. Ah, Kiryu-san. What question do you have? The bespectacled woman with braided brown hair on both her sides stood up and asked them a question. Hi, my name is Kyoto Youkai and I have one question. Where did Hyoudou-kun and Kuoh-san come from? Oh. Kuoh and I both came from Kyoto. Issei answered that normally. Kyoto? So good, I wish I can live in Kyoto as well. She looks like a princess. Could she be from royal family or something? Students started to mumble here and there. Okay, who's next? Ah. Motohama-san. The bespectacled guy stood up and looked at Issei with an envy glare. Hyoudou-kun. Yes. Answer me this. What is Kuoh-chan to you? Motohama said that with an angry tone while pointing rudely at Issei. Motohama-san, you're being rude here. You can't ask questions like that. The teacher warned his student, but Issei answered it anyway. Kuoh is my soulmate. Issei's direct honest answer made the whole class widen their eyes. Kuoh on the other hand was blushing heavily. So she's taken Kuzo. Lucky bastard. I should have known that Hyoudou-kun is taken. Damn it. I want a girlfriend as well. The class went crazy once again. Keep it down, guys. Keep it down. The teacher was desperately trying regain control in the class. Why do you have to answer that question, Ice? Kuoh looked at Issei while her cheeks are still red from embarrassment. To let other boys know that you belong to me. Issei answered that with a grin. His answer just made her blushes even more. Lunch break. This morning, both Issei and Kuoh were placed to sit next to each other by the homeroom teacher. Issei's right side was nothing but a window. Both of them had their tables joined together just so they can have lunch together, but they're currently swarmed by their classmates. Nah. Kuoh-san, how long have you been together with Hyoudou-kun? You're so pretty. I like the color of your hair. Are you currently living together with Hyoudou-kun? Hyoudou-kun. Tell us how you 2 met. Hyoudou. Curse you, pretty boy. Kuoh received a lot of welcoming words from the girls and they wanted to know more about hers and Issei's relationship. Issei mainly received unwelcoming words from the males of his class. When things in the class were getting noisier, 2 people were watching both Issei and Kuoh outside the door. You sure about this, Kaneko-chan? Standing outside the classroom is a handsome young man with short blonde hair, gray eyes and a mole under his left eye. Yes. She's not human. Standing beside him is a petite girl around 15 years of age with white hair and hazel eyes. Her front hair has 2 long bangs going past her shoulders and several loose bangs hanging over her forehead, while the back has a short bob cut. She also wears a black cat-shaped hair clip on both sides of her hair. We should inform Butchu first. Hi. Both the handsome young man and the petite girl quietly walked away from the class, but little did they know that Issei and Kuoh already knew they were standing there the entire time. Looks like they caught on to us sooner than I thought. He thought about that for a moment. Entrance of Kuoh Academy. Their first day of school has finally ended and Issei and Kuoh were on their way home while holding each author's hand. Issei looked towards the direction where he sensed an inhuman presence. Far away from them is a young, attractive woman around Issei's age with long black hair down to her hips and violet eyes. She wears a school uniform, which consisted of a dark red jacket with the letter P embroidered in gold, a white undershirt, a red bow, and a green skirt with a thin white strip around the lower end of it. Fallen angel man, they sure responded fast. Issei thought about that as he smiled bitterly. Kuoh tightened her grip a little when she too sensed the fallen angel. As they were closing in onto the fallen angel, the latter one walked towards them shyly and asked Issei a question. My name is Amano Yuma. Would you mind going out with me? Please go out with me. That question lightened the flare inside Kuoh in less than a second. I'm sorry. I'm afraid I have to reject you because I'm already with someone I love. Take care. Issei simply rejected her and walked past her while continue holding onto Kuoh's hand. Wait. The fallen angel tried to call him, but Issei simply ignored her. At Issei's and Kuoh's house, their bedroom. Issei is currently looking at Kuoh worriedly. She's been eating her dinner quietly the entire time. Right now, she's sleeping next to him, but only her back is facing him. Kuoh? You alright? Did I do anything wrong? Kuoh flinched a little when she heard Issei said that. It's nothing. Is it about the fallen angel girl? You do know she's faking, right? Kuoh turned around and sat up. She looked at Issei while showing a sad smile. I know that, but it hurts me here when someone asks you out in front of me. She placed her hands on chest. I won't be going anywhere, Kuoh. Kuoh widened her eyes when Issei placed his hand on hers. I will always be with you. I will never ever leave your side. Because I love you. He said that seriously but with warm smile. His words caused Kuoh to remain stunted for a few seconds. Thank you, Ice. Thank you. I love you too. Kuoh hugged onto Issei while replying him happily. Issei just smiled and patted her back gently. Kuoh. I don't want to ruin the mood we currently have, but we have to discuss about what we should do tomorrow. What do you mean? The Nekomata may have figured out that you're a kitsune. You're talking about the little girl standing outside the classroom during the lunch break, right? Yay. Who would have thought that a former Nekomata would be studying here at Kuoh Academy, right? Yay. It sure is troublesome. We have to assume that they will come and contact you either on tomorrow morning or during the lunch break. Okay. But that's not the only problem, right? Issei sighed at Kuoh's question. That's right. Looks like the fallen angels have their eyes on me as well. For them to make their move and approach us the day after we arrived and enter the devil's territory, they're either pretty bold or stupid. True. Devils are onto you and fallen angels are onto me, man, this so troublesome. So what are we going to do? Issei shrugged at Kuoh's question. I guess we're gonna have to improvise. But don't worry, I'll be with you throughout the steps. And I'll be with you forever. Kuoh said that and cuddled Issei to hide her blushes. Heh. I like that. The two of them soon fell into a peaceful sleep without letting go each other. At apartment. Issei and Kuoh got up early in the morning to find out more about the members they lost contact to. When they went to their base, a barrier was there to prevent ordinary people from entering. Issei, however, broke the barrier with an ease. But when the barrier was broken, down a strong pungent smell of blood could be smelled even from the outside. Which caused two of them to be on high alert. They entered to room to see their people. Two of them were attached to the wall with screws, making the shape of a cross upside down. There were big and thick screws screwed into the palm of each hand, into the feet, and at the middle of its torso. Ugh. Kuoh covered her mouth when she saw her people in that state. There's dried blood on the floor which came from the dripping blood that fell from the corpse. There's also some writings on the wall. It says, monsters should die. Issei narrowed his eyes when he saw those words. After separating his comrades from the wall, Issei contacted Yasaka and transported the corpses to Kyoto through teleportation magic. Both of them then cleaned the base to make like nothing ever happened. At the street. Two of them are currently take their time and head to the school. What should we do, Ice? Kuoh was still a bit shaken about what she just saw. We'll continue our investigation. We still have to figure out who did this to our comrades. Issei held onto her hand to ease her stresses. We'll find out who did this to them and make them pay. We now know that the fallen angels are responsible for this. How can you be so sure? The way they were nailed in a shape of a cross hanging upside down. It's the inverted cross which was traditionally used as a Christian symbol. So fallen angels are responsible for this? Why would they do that? Kuoh snapped the moment Issei confirmed the people who did that to their people. I don't know. But even if we're sure that it's fallen angels responsible, we can't act rashly. We have to think twice before we act. I know. Kuoh looked down to the ground, trying to suppress her angers for now. Wow. Thud. Both Issei and Kuoh turned their heads towards the direction where they heard a feminine voice and somebody falling onto the ground. But not too far away from them is a sister who is on the floor. She is spreading her arms wide open and has her face on the ground. That certainly is a clumsy way of falling down. Are you okay? Issei approached the sister and give her his hand so she can stand up. Oh. Why do I keep on tripping over? Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you very much. Issei took her hand to lift her up. Phew. The sister's veil flies off because of the wind. Her blonde hair, which is hidden underneath, falls down onto her shoulders. Her straight blonde hair is sparkling with light because of the sunshine. Issei's eyes just move towards her face by pure chances. In front of him is a girl around 15 to 16 years of age with long blonde hair and green eyes. Her hair flows all the way down to her back, with split bangs over her forehead and a single strand sticking out from the top, sloping backwards. Wow. Issei was surprised by the sister's appearance, and he's also managed to catch her veil with an ease. Here. He returned the veil to her. Ah. Thank you very much. The sister bowed her head and thanked Issei gratefully. The young man then notices the luggage on the floor. Traveling? No, that's not it. I was appointed to the church in this town. You must be a resident of this town. It's a pleasure to meet you. Both Issei and Kuoh widened their eyes when they heard that. Both of them looked at each other for a moment. Is something wrong? The sister tilted her head innocently. It's nothing. My name is Hyoudou Issei. You can call me Ice. Pleased to meet you. Issei shook his head and introduced himself. And I'm Kuoh. Nice to meet you, Sister-san. Kuoh introduced herself with a smile. My name is Asia Argento. Please call me Asia. The sister, Asia, responded with a smile. Pleased to meet you, Asia. Nice to meet you, Asia-san. Yes. It's nice to meet you as well, Ai-san. Kuoh-san. Issei then said another thing. We know the location of the church. Really? You do? Thank you. This is all thanks to God. She smiles at them with tears flowing from her eyes. Like this, both Issei and Kuoh took Asia to her destination. Near a park. While on their way to the church. Beware. The cry of a boy was suddenly heard out of nowhere. Are you alright, Yosh-kun? Issei, Kuoh and Asia look to see a boy who is with his mum, crying. It seems like he just tripped over. But suddenly, Asia, who was walking behind them, walked towards the park. Hey. Asia went inside the park and went towards the boy who is sitting down and crying. Issei and Kuoh followed her. Are you okay? Boys shouldn't cry with a minor injury like this. Asia patted the boy's head gently. The boy probably didn't understand what she is saying because he's tilting his head. I guess the Magatama necklace Yasaka-san gave us works its charm. Yay. Issei and Kuoh whispered towards one another. They then looked at the Magatama on their neck. Issei has a red Magatama necklace, while Kuoh has a golden Magatama. Apparently, the Magatamas that they received from Yasaka had a charm that allow everyone in the world to understand what they are saying, and the people listening to them will hear it in the language they are most familiar with. While having a very kind expression, Asia put her palm where the boy has injured himself. Next moment, a green light orb appears from the sister's palm and is flashing onto the boy's knee. The boy's injury soon started to disappear. Issei, Kuoh, the boy and his mother were surprised to see that. That's. Yay. A sacred gear with the ability to heal. Both Issei and Kuoh looked at Asia with an awe expression. Here, your wounds are healed. The pain should be gone now. The sister patted the boy's head and looked towards the couple. I'm sorry. But I had to. She laughed while sticking her tongue out. The boy's mother, who was shocked before, shook her head, then grabs the boy's hand so they can leave quickly. Thank you, Wani-chan. The boy's words. Words of gratitude. He said, thank you, Wani-chan. She smiled happily after Issei translated for her. When Issei has confirmed that no one else was in the park, he decided to ask Asia a question. Asia, is that? Yes, it's the power to heal. It's a wonderful power that God gave me. She looked a bit sad, even though she's smiling, and that made Issei and Kuoh to feel worried. Somehow it seems like she has some dark past or something. I probably shouldn't get too deep into it. Issei then decided to change the subject. You really have a strong belief in God, huh? I do. I really believe in God. Does Ai-san believe in God as well? I prefer to say that I'm a freethinker. Oh. I see. Anyway, we best get going. Hi. Outside the church. Yes, this is the place. I'm so glad. Asia showed a sigh of relief after having compared their location with the map she has. Issei looked at the church while narrowing his eyes. Fallen Angels base, they're not here, but we better leave for now, before they come back here. Then we'll be on our way. Both Issei and Kuoh bowed their heads and was about to leave. Please wait. But the Asia's words stopped them. I would like to make you some tea as a gratitude for taking me here. Oh, it's alright. We're kind of in a rush, so we have to get going. But that's… She's troubled. Issei then took a step forwards and handed her an Hyoudou. This is a charm. Just between you and the two of us here, if you need help or anything, and I really mean anything, just say my name or Kuoh's, okay? We'll be there immediately. Really? Yep. I promise you that we'll definitely be there when you call for us. Oh, okay. Thank you, Ai-san and Kuoh-san. Let's meet again. Hi, Asia-san. We'll definitely meet again. We'll see you soon, Asia. Issei and Kuoh left the place after waving their hands towards her. Asia watched them until they were out of her sight. Kuoh Academy second year class lunch break. Issei and Kuoh are currently eating their lunches together while discussing about the things that happened during morning. Ice, the Hyoudou you gave her also has a tracking ability, right? Yay, there is. You sure are kind, Ice. Kuoh said it with a smile. What did you mean? Issei took a bite at his meat. You gave her that piece of paper so that you can keep an eye on her, right? She is naive. And that made me worried for someone like her to join Fallen Angel's side. Anyway, I thought you'll call me a stalker instead. Issei said that jokingly, but Kuoh just shook her head. Nope. I won't say that. Why? Because the Ice I know is a very kind person who always cares about others around him. You are selfless. Always putting others before you. Kuoh's praises caused the young man to blush a little. Really? Issei scratched his right cheek nervously. Yep. And that is the Ice I love. Jew. She kissed on his cheek after saying that. Thank you, Kuoh, looks like we have some companies. I say that they'll arrive in 5 minutes. Issei was about to say something until he sensed someone was heading towards them. I see. Both of them finished their meals as soon as possible while waiting patiently for the devils to come. Hi. How are you doing? Issei and Kuoh, who were pretending to read their textbooks, looked up to see the handsome young man and the petite girl standing beside him. Can I help you? I am Kiba Hyoudou from second year class. You can call me Kiba. You're Kuoh-san and Hyoudou-kun, right? Yes. Nice to meet you, Kiba-kun. Nice to meet you, Kiba, and the girl beside you is. Kuoh and Issei look towards the petite girl who has a stoic expression. This is Taoju Kaneko from first year class. I'm sorry, but she doesn't talk much. It's alright. Nice to meet you, Taoju-chan. Kaneko just bowed her head slightly after Kuoh had greeted her. Anyway. Can I help you with anything, Kiba-kun? Yes. Our president from the Occult Research Club wished to speak with you if that is okay with you. I'm okay with it. Then, can you please Fo? But can I speak to her after the classes are over? I wish to spend my free time with Ice for now. Of course. I understand. Thank you very much, Kiba-kun. And I'm sorry if I'm causing you any inconvenience. Kuoh bowed her head as she apologized. It's alright, Kuoh-san. I too am sorry for disturbing your time with Hyoudou-san. I'll come again after the school, alright? Sure. After Kiba and Kaneko had left the classroom, Issei looked at his mate with a teasing smile. Really? You'd skip the meeting with the devil just so you can spend more time with me? I'm really touched. That's only half true. What about the other half? I just don't want to meet with the devils that soon. You sly fox. Issei said that with a toothy grin. I am a fox. Kuoh replied with a low tone and smiled while sticking her tongue out playfully. Second year class, end of lessons. When the students are leaving the class, Issei and Kuoh remained at their seats, waiting for Kiba to come. Within 4 minutes, Kiba entered the class and greeted them once again. Hello, Kuoh-san and Hyoudou-kun. Hi, Kiba-kun. Yo. Kuoh-san, please follow me. I'll escort you to our clubhouse. Okay. Kuoh stood up from her seat and Issei followed after her. Hyoudou-kun, if it's not too much, can you wait here while our president have a conversation with Kuoh-san? It won't take too long. Issei showed a toothy grin. How do I know you're not trying to steal her away from me? I have to ensure it, right? Those words caused Kiba to show a bitter smile. Sure. Right this way. Kiba had no choice but to allow Issei follow them. At the Occult Research Club. Both Issei and Kuoh had arrived at their destination. Apparently, Occult Research Club is a 3-story building clubhouse, with the 3rd story serving as a clock tower. It has been painted white with a black roof with vines creeping up to the 2nd floor. Knock. 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 But you, we're here. Clack. Kiba first knocked and then entered into the room. The club room interior is a wood-paneled room with Victorian-style couches and chairs along with the walls. A shower tub is set up at a side to be able to be used as a bath or a shower. Why would anyone take a bath in here? Issei asked that to himself when he saw that. He then looked to see the petite girl, Kaneko, sitting on the couch, eating some sweets, and looked at them with her usual stoic expression. Standing close to a desk is a young lady with a buxom figure who seems to be on the same age as Ria's, with very long black hair and violet eyes. Her hair is tied in a long ponytail with an orange ribbon. When she saw Issei and Kuoh, she greeted them with a smile and bowed her head slightly. Sitting at her desk while reading some documents, the crimson-haired girl, Rias, looked up to see Kiba with Kuoh and Issei behind him. "Ah, Hyoudou. You're back." Rias soon stood up from her seat and greets them. "Nice to meet you, my name is Rias Gremory. Third-year student, president of the Occult Research Club. You can call me Rias." "I'm Kuoh, nice to meet you as well." "Hi. I'm Hyoudou Issei. Pleased to meet your acquaintance. You can call me Ice." Kuoh greeted Rias with a smile, but Issei could tell that she's faking it. "Please, sit down." Rias offered both of them to sit on the couch. "I was told by Kiba-kun that Ria-senpai wished to speak with me." "Yes. That is true. But..." Rias then looked towards Issei. "Did I do something wrong?" Issei blinked his eyes a few times and asked. "Nope. But I'm afraid I need you to rest for a moment." Issei raised an eyebrow. "What do you mean, Zzz. Issei started to get heavy and both his head and shoulders soon slumped. He fell asleep. "Now let's get down, have our talk, shall we?" Rias said that with a smile. "What do you want from me?" Kuoh remained quiet for a moment and decided to get straight to the point. "Kuoh-san. We already know that you're not a human, so I won't beat around the bush. Why are you here in my territory? So you are the devil that's in charge of Kuoh town?" "Yes. And they must be your followers." Kuoh looked at the long black-haired young woman, Kiba and Kaneko. Rias moved her eyes onto the chessboard close to her. "Kuoh-san. Do you know what an evil pieces are?" "No." "Then, how about chess?" "Yay. That I know. But I prefer playing shogi." "Good. That just made my explanation a whole lot easier. There's our set of 16 chess pieces. 1 king, 1 queen, 2 knights, 2 bishops, 2 rooks and 8 pawns. That you know, right?" "Yes." Evil pieces or devil's pieces are a set of 15 chess pieces given to a top-class devil to increase their ranks by reincarnating other beings into devils. "I see, so they are your chess pieces." "Yes. Allow me to introduce them to you once again. Himejima Akeno, the vice president of this club. She is my queen. Kiba Hyoudou is my knight. And lastly, Taoju Kaneko, my rook. And I, Rias Gremory, am their king. Now back to my question. Why are you here and where are you from?" "What if I choose not to answer the questions of yours?" "Then I'm afraid we have to use a little force." Kuoh looked around when she sensed the long black-haired young woman, Akeno, Kiba and Kaneko, to increase demonic powers slightly. "I don't like the word force you just used." Rias, Akeno, Kiba and Kaneko widened their eyes when they heard Issei's voice. Issei slowly lifted his head up and looked at them with a fierce look. Phew. Kuoh let out a sigh of relief when Issei finally decided to speak. Now that he's beside her, she can relax a little. "You alright, Kuoh?" Issei looked at her with a worried expression while placing a hand on her shoulder. "I am now." Kuoh said that with a small smile and placed her hand on his. "How is that you're not asleep? I hypnotized you." Rias was still shocked at the fact that Issei was awake the whole time. "But that level of hypnosis. I could break it within a second. There's no way a human could break a devil's hypnosis just that easily." "There is now." "What are you?" "A human." Issei answered while showing his angered face. "Is this how you devils ask for someone's identity? By using mere force? By threats? Are devils really that uncivilized? Allow me give you a fair warning, Rias Gremory senpai. Anyone who dares to touch or harm Kuoh, I'll break them." The young man let out a surge power when he said that, causing the devils to flinch at the moment it hits them. "Ice." Kuoh squeezed her hand on his to calm him down. "Sorry. I lost my cool." Issei lowered his intensity, allowing the devil to ease off a little. "No, I'm the one who should say that. I'm sorry for threatening you, Kuoh-san." Still feeling a bit tensed, Rias apologized to Kuoh. "I too must apologize, my experience with devils aren't so good. That's why I don't trust you guys." Kuoh bowed her head slightly after saying that. "Experience with us devils. Did something bad happen to you in the past that made you think we're all bad?" "Something did bad happen, but I do not want to think about it." "What is it?" "You can tell me. Maybe it's something I can help you with." "Rias Gremory senpai. I would like to advise you not to pry into other people's personal life." To Kuoh, that past is something she wished to forget. Don't remind her of her past again. There's nothing you can do to undo the past. Issei butted in before Riaz could finish her sentences. His words were direct and cold. Yes, I'm sorry for asking. Kuno-san. Yes. Can you at least tell me why you're here? As the devil who is in charge of Kuoh town, I need to know your purpose of coming here. We were originally ordered to investigate and find out the reason why our people that were living it here had lost contact with us. Your people? Riaz raised an eyebrow as she asked. Kuno showed a serious expression and nodded her head. Yes. Allow me to introduce myself to you all once again. My name is Kuno, daughter of the Kyoto Youkai Faction's leader, Yasaka. Riaz, Akeno, Kiba and Kaneko widened their eyes once again after Kuno had revealed her true identification. So you are the next heiress of the Kyoto Youkai Faction. And you're really from Kyoto? I guess so, and yes. Is there a problem? Not at all. Riaz asked that question excitingly, which surprised Kuno a lot. She appeared in front of Kuno and clamped the latter's hand happily with her eyes full of stars. Fufufu. Please forgive Butchu's sudden action. She is a Japanese otaku. Akeno and Kiba chuckled a little at Ria's action. Ah. Ahem. I'm sorry about my sudden action. Riaz got her sensed back and apologized with some blushes on her cheeks. It's alright. I am surprised you have an obsessive interest about Japan stuffs. Kuno said that with a small smile, causing Riaz to blush furthermore. And Hyoudou-san. Your real identification is? I'm Kuno's mate and guardian. Issei's direct answer caused the girls to blush once again. You're her guardian? Riaz tilted her head slightly. She looked at Kuno, then to Issei and back to Kuno once again. Yay. I am her guardian. You got a problem with that? No. It's not like that. I'm just surprised. Because I'm a human. Did they ever teach you not to judge a book by its cover? Riaz didn't answer because she already know that she kept stepping on his landmines. Anyway, thank you for your time. We'll take our leave now. Kuno bowed her head slightly, stood up from her seat and was about to leave with Issei following behind her until. Wait. The couple looked back when Riaz called for them. If it's not too much to ask, do you mind if my servants have a little spar with you? Issei looked at Kuno for a while, seeking for his lover's permission. The latter one just smiled and nodded her head. Fine. We'll have a spar match. Who will I be sparring with? Hyoudou, Kaneko. Are you two okay with a match against Hyoudou-san? Yes. I would love to. Hi. Both the knight and the rook agreed. Outside the old house. The barrier was prepared by Akeno to prevent anyone from detecting their sparring match. Issei took a step forward while loosening his tie and unbuttoned his collar button. On the opposite side, Kiba created a magicircle on the ground and a sword came out from it. Issei took a glance at the sword Kiba was holding. You can create demonic sword. That's right. My sacred gear, sword birth allows me to create any type of demonic sword I can think of. Kiba was first surprised by Issei's words, but he then explained it to the latter one with a bitter smile. Nice. Thank you. Issei then looked towards Kaneko. Are you gonna use your Nekomata power? You knew Kaneko is a former Nekomata. Riaz was shocked by Issei's words. Not only her, everyone except Kuno was surprised. I know a Nekomata when I see one. After all, I too lived in Kyoto for a long time. Kaneko seemed to be disturbed after Issei discovered her true identity easily. So you're not going to use your gifted power? Strange, oh well. Issei got into battle stance, with his fists at his side, close to his hips and his feet somewhat spaced apart. Let's do this. Show me what you're capable of, Kiba, Kaneko. The moment Issei finished saying that, Kaneko was the first to charge forward. Kaneko aims at Issei's chest and delivers a punch right at it. Not planning to hold back at all. On. The sound of an impact was heard. Riaz and Kuno remained quiet when they heard that impact sound. The former one widened her eyes when she saw Issei, a human actually stopped Kaneko's punch. Issei is currently holding Kaneko's small right fist. So this is the power of a rook. If I was a regular human, I would be dead by now, but I'm different. Issei started spinning around while still holding onto Kaneko. Kiba. Catch her if you can. Issei threw Kaneko straight at the knight. Biwaya. Kiba managed to catch Kaneko, but the force was too strong for him. It's so strong that it even sent Kiba flying backwards as well. Luckily, both of them managed to get their footings back on, and this time, it's Kiba's turn to attack. Compared to Kaneko, Kiba is way more agile. Kiba brought his sword down and delivered a combo of slash attack. But all were easily dodged by the brown-haired boy. Issei then looked up into the sky to see Kaneko descending from the air and was about to deliver another blow at him. All he did was sidestepped and allows the little girl to hit the ground. Boon. Another miss. Kaneko's fist, however, created cracks on the ground. Wow. That's a nice hit. Issei said that without feeling pressured by the fact that the little girl just crushed the ground. Come on, you two. Show me everything you got. Issei grinned and showed a gesture, bring it on to the two of them. Both Kiba and Kaneko looked at each other for a moment and nodded their heads as if they've agreed in something. Two of them then charged towards Issei. 20 minutes later. Ah ha ha. The sound of two people breathing heavily were heard. There were cracks and small craters everywhere. Trees have been cut down as well. Rias and Akeno were looking at the scenario with both their eyes and mouths wide opened. Kunu, on the other hand, was looking at Issei with a big proud smile. Kiba and Kaneko were sitting on the ground, trying to catch their breaths. Yes, this is what you two are capable of, huh? Issei, on the other hand, is perfectly fine. He's fixing his collar button and his tie. Looks like he managed not only to survive the duo's attack, but also not allowing them to land a single blow at him. I've played with you guys long enough. It's getting late as well. Issei picked up his school bag and walked towards Kunu. Wait. Issei stopped his pace and turned his head slightly to look at Rias with a neutral expression. What else do you need, Rias Gremory-senpai? All you did throughout the entire sparring was parrying Hyoudou and Kaneko's attack. You never show me your strength. The fact that I, being a human, is capable of dodging two devils' attacks continuously for more than 20 minutes already tells you that I'm capable of handling you guys with an ease. There's no point of me showing my strength to you guys if you people can't even land a blow at me. Issei said that calmly to Rias. TCH. Rias made a click with her tongue. Even though she's feeling a bit unsatisfied with the result of the sparring match, Rias knows very well the limits of her servants. If Issei could easily dodge their attacks, then he's entirely on another level. That also increased her desire in wanting Issei to join her peerage. Though she doubted it'll be successful, because she did threaten his mate. With a wave of her hand, Rias signaled Akeno to remove the barrier around them, thus allowing Issei and Kunu to leave the school compound and head back to their house. At the church. Asia was humming happily while looking at the Hyoudou that Issei gave her early in the morning. Yohu Asia-chan. Asia quickly hid the Hyoudou into her sleeves and turned around to see a young man with short white hair and red eyes. He's dressed in clerical clothing. Yes, Father Fried. Asia forced a smile as she greeted the priest. There's a mission assigned for both of us. Let's go. Hi. Ever since she got here, Asia couldn't shake off the feeling that there's something wrong about the way people treat her and look at her. Come on, Asia-chan. Hi. Asia followed after Fried. The human's house. An ordinary guy in his late 20s is currently sitting on his couch, staring at a flyer that he was given to him by his best friend. His best friend told him that the flyer can summon a devil and they'll provide services to them. The ordinary guy first thought that his best friend had gone nuts. But the latter one was able to persuade him to give it a try by lending him his flyer. Make a wish and we'll grant it for you. Really? The guy read the words on the flyer and tilted his head slightly in confusion. Does it even work? He's curious, yet doubtful. Thumb. The guy looked up the ceiling when he heard a sound coming from second floor. No one's home except him. Who could it be? Thief. Feeling a bit scared, the guy walked towards the staircase while holding a baseball bat and took a peek at the second floor. Hello? Hey, anyone there? I'm right here. The ordinary guy widened his eyes and turned around just to see a white-haired young man dressed as a priest. Can I help you? Sakyu. Before the ordinary guy could finish his sentence, he suddenly felt an intense at his stomach. Like something just pierced right through him. Cough. The ordinary guy started coughing blood from his mouth quietly. He looked down slowly to see the priest's hand is holding onto a sword that only has a handle with a beam of light coming out from it. It's a light sword. Why? Thud. The ordinary guy lost his energy and fell onto the floor. Fried, on the other hand, was giving out an insane smile. Father Fried. What is going on? Ooh. Asia came in from the front door that was left open by Fried. She screamed when she saw a man was lying on the floor filled with blood. Ho 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 ho. My assistant, Asia-chan, is here. Did you finish putting the barrier? Father Fried, what are you doing? Ara. Is this your first time seeing someone dying on the floor? Then look carefully. We have the humans that are entranced by devils die like this. Fried brought out a nail gun. What are you planning to do to me? The dying man asked Fried weakly. He's losing his consciousness fast. Nothing special, I'm simply gonna nail you to the wall. Fried said that happily while spinning the nail gun on his left hand. He's even humming. No, you can't. The dying man was trying to crawl away with his remaining strength. Ara. You think you can just leave like that? We still have to punish you, you know. Fried used his right foot, stepped onto the dying man's back. No. This is wrong. Get away from him. Whoa. Asia ran towards Fried and pushed him away from the dying man. Sir. Please stay alive. Don't die. Asia quickly brought out her sacred gear and started healing the man. Freed got up and was pissed. Damn you. Aki. Hi. He hit Asia to the side with a nail gun, causing the latter one to fall to the ground. The fallen angel girl told me very strongly that I can't kill you. But I'm getting a bit pissed. Since I can't kill you, then can I rape you or something? Freed grabbed onto Asia's throat and pushed her against the wall. He squeezed her throat tightly. NGHH. Asia was struggling to get air in. Now that I look at you closely, you sure have a nice figure. Oops. I almost kill you. Sorry about that. Freed scanned Asia's body and let go of her throat, allowing Asia to finally able to catch a breath. I guess I do want to rape you after all. Wah. Rip. Rip rip. Freed started ripping Asia's clothes off her. No. Ha. That's right. Scream. Scream all you want. No one is here to save you. Freed pinned Asia onto the floor, lowered his face slightly and licked her cheeks. Just when tears started coming out from her eyes, she prayed and hoped that her last hope will really work. Isay-san. Kunu-san. Asia shouted the names out loud in her head. She. Freed widened his eyes when he saw something that's in Asia's sleeve was shining brightly. He picked up the Hyoudou. What the hell is thigh? Osh. Pring. Prang. Before Freed could notice, a fist came straight to his right cheek, sending the psychotic father crashing through the living room and into the kitchen. The sound of plates falling onto the floor could be heard as well. Asia shifted her head slightly to see a young man was standing in the living room. But she couldn't tell who it is because he's wearing a tattered black hooded cloak which covered his face. Hey Asia. The young man kneeled down to check on Asia who was lying on the floor. Asia could only see the person's mouth as the upper part of his face has been overshadowed by the hood. She however recognized that voice. Isay-san. Yes. I'm right here. The young man narrowed his eyes when he saw a bruise mark on her face. That bastard actually hit her. Kunu, how is the other one doing? Issei shifted his position and looked at Kunu with her fox ears and tails out, is checking the dying guy. It seems like Asia managed to close his wound. But he's currently unconscious. He's breathing fine as well. Good. How's the barrier? All set up and good to go. Issei removed his cloak and placed them on Asia so that she can cover her front. Asia. Tell me what happened here. Father Freed tried to kill the man for receiving the flyer from Devils. He wanted to nail the man onto the wall. I tried to stop him but he attacked me. Asia started crying when she told Issei the whole story. SHHH. It's alright now. Kunu and I are here for you. Issei patted her head to calm her down. Kunu. We'll first send them to our place. Yes. Click. With a snap of Kunu's fingers, a magic circle appeared underneath the unconscious guy and Asia. We'll see you later Asia. Issei said that to her with a small smile. Wait, Isay-san. Swoo. Before she could finish her words, Asia was teleported away. Damn you. The couples then looked towards the door connecting the living room and the kitchen. Freed entered the living room once again. But he's walking with those shaky legs of his. There's blood on his forehead, nose and mouth. So you're the one responsible for the death of our people. Issei said that while having his eyes narrowed slightly. Your people? I've killed dozens of people. Which one are we talking about? Who the hell are you anyway? Who's the hot foxy with those huge rack over there? And are you the one who hit my pretty face? The psychotic priest was angry at the end. Kunu looked at Freed with great disgust. Such a vulgar priest. Where's Asia-chan? I need her back. The fallen angel girl told me that she has something special planned for her. What are you planning to do to her? Ha. We plan to extract her sacred gear that has the ability to heal fallen angels as well as devils. Though the process will kill her, I still want to hear her scream when we slowly pull out her sacred gear. Ha. Both Issei and Kunu frowned even more after they found out the fallen angels are going to kill an innocent woman. I can see no why a guy like him is kicked out from the church. He's no longer sane. Freed tossed the nail gun to the side and brought a gun. You dare call me insane, bitch, allow me to warn you. This gun has special bullets made for the exorcists, the bullet of light. And it doesn't make any sound. I hate to use it on a human like you, but oh well. D.E. Just when Freed was about to pull the trigger. PGHNNN. Then sound of metal being compressed could be heard. Freed was stunted when Issei appeared in front of him before he could pull the trigger and crush the gun with his bare hand at ease. Please don't point those things at her. Issei then placed his left palm on Freed's chest. What the foo? With a single push mixed with a little kai of his, Issei created a force so strong that he sent Freed back into the kitchen, threw it out of the house, and crashed into the barrier created by Kunu. Buhe. Cough. Freed was lying on the ground, coughing blood. Ah, he's too overpowered, haha. He tried to escape, but his ribs were all broken. He could barely breathe properly. Don't even think that we're done with you. Fried moved his eyes to see Kuoh was standing in front of him. There's a pinkish red flaming orb rotating around her back. She's looking at him with a fierce look. Please spare me, I don't want to blah. I don't want to die. Fried begged for mercy while coughed out some more blood. There's no way I will let you live. Not after what you did to my people. You bitch, fuck you, fuck. Scorch him. Phew. The pinkish red flaming orb moved at Kuoh's command and attacked Fried. Once the flaming orb entered his body, it apparently evaporates all the water in Fried's body, thus steam could be seen emitting from his body. The priest doesn't even have the chance to scream. Less than a minute, all that remains is Fried in a desiccated state. Kuoh closed her eyes and showed a slight sad expression after she came back to her senses and saw what she did. It's alright. Kuoh opened her eyes and saw Issei standing next and close to her. You did what you think was right. We've brought justice for our fallen comrades. Now, they can rest peacefully once and for all. Ice. Kuoh rested her head on his shoulder. It's over. The young man patted her head and said that. At Issei in Kuoh's house guest's room. Zzzzzzzzzm. Asia opened her sleepy eyes slowly and took her time to sit herself up. She looked around sleepily, trying to figure out where she currently is. Where am I? She tilted her head slightly and looked down when she realized that her attire has changed into something that she's not familiar with. She's wearing a kimono. What is this that I'm wearing? Unknowing that she's actually loosening her kimono, Asia kept on pulling the ribbons. Asia. Are you awake? Asia looked towards the shoji to see the silhouette of Issei and Kuoh. I-san and Kuoh-san. Kuoh and I brought you breakfast. We're coming in now. Issei slid opened the shoji door and entered while holding a tray of food. SFX. The loosened kimono suddenly fell off, revealing Asia's naked body. Issei was standing there, frozen, not knowing what to do. There's blushes forming on his cheeks as well. Kuoh on the other hand, had her eyes widened. Asia-san. Kuoh sheepishly pointed while giving a bitter smile at Asia. Asia tilted her head slightly, still hasn't noticed that she's in her birthday suit. Until she looked down. Asia covered herself in a panic and screamed from embarrassment. But hey, look on the bright side, at least her lower half was still covered by the covers. Kuoh immediately rushed forward to fix Asia's clothings and looked at her maid angrily. Ice. Turn around. Yes ma'am. Issei turned around immediately when Kuoh ordered him to stop staring at Asia. I'm sorry. Issei apologized to Asia while kneeling down on the floor, Dogiza, after Kuoh finished fixing her kimono. No. I was the one who caused trouble to I-san and Kuoh-san, I'm sorry as well. Asia bowed her head slightly to Issei as well. Please don't apologize, Asia-san. It's naturally a man's fault when he stares at a naked woman. Kuoh said that as she looked at Issei, who is sitting on her left side with her eyes half closed. She's pulling Issei's left cheek as well. Yes, it's my fault, puis forgive me, Kuoh it hurts. There's little tears coming from the young man's eyes. Asia suddenly remembered what happened last night. Is he alright, is the man alright? Issei just patted her head while showing a small smile. Don't worry, he's fine. Because of you, his life isn't in a critical condition when we got there. We do have to alter his memory slightly to make him forget what really happened. Kuoh added an additional information. What about Father Fried? He killed our people, we did what we had to. Are you scared of us, Asia? When Issei said and asked that seriously, Asia just shook her head. No. I believe that Father Fried must have done terrible things to your friend. All I can do is to pray that God will bring his soul to peace. When she noticed that Kuoh looked a bit different, Asia asked the latter one curiously. Kuoh-san, why do you have fox ears and tails? Kuoh looked her fox tails that were wagging slightly. I'm a kitsune. Kitsune? A fox yokai? Kuoh-san is a yokai, I didn't know. You look so beautiful. Haha. Thank you. Asia-san is very pretty as well. Kuoh smiled warmly when Asia complimented her. You can't blame Kuoh for not revealing her identity. It's supposed to be a secret after all. I couldn't imagine how a normal human would react when they see this. I said nope. I'm 100% a human. I see. Grrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrr Issei and Kuoh widened their eyes and looked at Asia to see her blushing from embarrassment while holding her tummy. I'm sorry. It's alright. Breakfast is here. Eat up. Kuoh placed the food on a chabudai that was on her futon. It's a breakfast on bed. Thank you, Kuoh-san and Isay-san. Thank you for the food. Asia. What's your plan from now on? Plan? After Asia finished her breakfast, Issei wanted to find out what Asia's next steps would be. I'll get straight to the point. The fallen angels at the church are planning have a ritual that will extract your sacred gear from you. They know that the process will kill you, but that's their plan. Asia was really shocked when she heard that. Ice. Don't you think that's a bit too direct? We can't expect her to accept that quickly. Kuoh argued for Issei being too direct, but he retorted. Right now, we have to act quickly. The fallen angels must have realized it already that Asia has been taken. We have to know what Asia's next plan is from now on if we are to help her. But I don't have any places to go. Then why don't you stay with us from now on? Kuoh suddenly made an offer that causes Asia to widen her eyes. The former one then continues. Why would you do that? That's because Asia is my important friend and I am glad to help my friend anytime. Right, Ice? Yep. Asia is my friend as well. A single drop of tear then fall from her eyes. Then, more tears started flowing out from her eyes. Both Issei and Kuoh panicked when they saw that. What's wrong, Asia, did we say anything wrong? No. I was really surprised and happy when Kuoh-san and I-san said that we're friends. Why would you be surprised? I never had any friends. Why not? Asia showed a complicated sad expression for a moment and finally decided to speak. Can I tell you a story? Both Issei and Kuoh looked at each other for a second and nodded their head, agreeing to listen to Asia's story. A story about the girl who was once called the Holy Maiden. In a certain region in Europe, there was a girl who was discarded by her parents. She was raised in a church nearby by a nun along with other orphans. The girl, who was a strong follower of the church, received a special power at the age of 8. She healed a wounded puppy, and a person from the Catholic Church witnessed it by chance. From there on, her life changed. The girl was taken to the main Catholic Church, and she was symbolized by many as a holy maiden because of her healing power. She used her power to heal many believers, and they were told it was a power of divine protection. Rumors brought rumors, and she was respected as a holy maiden. Even without her approval. She had no dissatisfaction for how she was treated. People from the church were kind and she didn't hate healing people. She instead was happy that her power was of use. The girl was thankful to her power which was bestowed to her by God. But she was a bit lonely. She didn't have any friends she could open up to. Everyone treated her nicely and was nice to her. But there were no one willing to become her friend. She understood why. She knew that they were looking at her power as something irregular. They didn't look at her as a human, but as a creature that could heal humans. But one day, it changed. By coincidence, there was a devil nearby and she healed it. A wounded devil. The girl couldn't ignore it. She thought that even if it was a devil, she had to heal it if it was injured. It was her kindness that made her take such an action. But that changed her life forever. One of the people from the church saw that incident and notified others of the church. The ministers of the church were shocked about it. The power that can heal devils. Something absurd like that cannot happen. The power of healing can only heal the followers of God. Yes, there were several people who had the power to heal. But the power to heal the devil was out of the question. The people of the church thought it was common sense that the power of healing doesn't work on fallen angels and devils. Apparently, a similar incident had happened in the past. The power to heal fallen angels and devils that were not protected by God. But that was feared as the power of a witch. So the people saw her as a heretic. Damn witch that heals devils. The girl, who was respected as a holy maiden, was then feared as a witch and the Catholic Church abandoned her. She didn't have anywhere to go and the organization of stray exorcists picked her up. In other words, she had to get divine protection from the fallen angels. But the girl never forgot to pray to God. She also never forgot to thank God. Even so, the girl was abandoned. God didn't save her. What shocked her the most was that there was not even a single person in the church that was willing to defend her. There was no one who cared about her. Both Issei and Kuoh were speechless once they heard Asia's background. For her, a once proud holy maiden who is now being called as a witch by the Catholic Church. And that's my story. Before Asia could say anything more, Kuoh reacted without thinking, leading her to hug onto Asia tightly. Hey Kuoh-san. It's alright, Asia. I'm here. Ice is here. We'll always be your friend and your family. Tears are coming down from her eyes. Really? Yes. We will be Asia-san's friend forever. Issei just made a small smile and patted Asia's head. Thank you Kuoh-san I-san. Asia smiles warmly while having tears coming from her eyes. She has finally made 2 true friends. At the Occult Research Club. Riaz is currently sitting at her desk, alone, enjoying her cup of tea. Such a peaceful day. Riaz said that happily and drank her tea. Riaz Gremory senpai. The FFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFffffff. The tea sprinkled out from her mouth when someone suddenly called her name out loud. Cough. Cough. While coughing, the crimson-haired girl looked up to Issei, Kuoh and a blonde girl she's not familiar with. Ice. Kuoh-san. We need your help. You need my help. Rias raised an eyebrow when she said that. And she is? Asia. Her name is Asia Argento. She's actually a sister. Rias narrowed her eyes when she heard the last part. We can take care of Asia all by ourselves, but since this is your territory we thought that we should seek your permission first. My permission for what? We want your approve that you will let Asia study at Kuoh Academy. Sitting in front of her are Issei and Kuoh with a nervous Asia between them. I'm sorry I can't help you. It's because she's someone related to church. Not only that, but she's on the fallen angel side. I wouldn't want to get involved with people working with fallen angels. She's not with them. She just doesn't have the right place to go. They even plan to kill her just to get their hands on Asia's sacred gear. Her sacred gear? Rias looked at Asia curiously, causing the former to become more nervous. I can heal injuries even devils and fallen angels. Asia said that sheepishly. The healing sacred gear that can heal devils and fallen angels, I want her. That's the first thing that came into her mind when Rias received that information. But she tried to remain calm and not get too obvious about it. Alright. I can help her. Both Asia and Kuoh were surprised by Ria's sudden change in her attitudes. But Issei narrowed his eyes a little. Why do I have a feeling that there will be a but behind that words of yours? Ugh, I am willing to help her if she join my peerage. Rias let out a voice when Issei easily read her thoughts and took out a bishop chess piece. So that's what you're after. You're just like those fallen angels. Now hold it right there, Ice. My method of reincarnating Asia-san into devil will not kill her in the process. Besides, if she joins my peerage, she will have my full protection. They will never lay a single hand on her. I will also allow her to study at Kuoh Academy. Issei remained quiet and turned to look at Kuoh and Asia. I will do it. Both Issei and Kuoh were surprised by Asia's words. She agreed. Devil-san. I will do it. Rias smiled happily when Asia agreed to join her peerage. She then took a step forward while holding her chess piece and started to chant. I order in my name Rias Gremory. You, Asia Argento. I resurrect you back to this soil as my servant and have you reborn as a devil. You, my bishop, be delighted with your new life. The crimson chess piece glows and goes inside Asia's body. It's done. Pleased to meet you, Asia. From now on, you're one of my servants. My name is Rias Gremory. You may call me Butchu from now on. Hi. I'll be in your care from now on, Butchu-san. Asia bowed her head and greeted Rias. Likewise. Issei and Kuoh stood up from their seats. Wait a minute, how did you guys get here so quickly? I planted a sealet here when Ice and I first came in. I see. Rias-san. A-chan will be living with us, if that's okay with you. Yep. I'm okay with that. But she will have to come back here so that I can brief her a couple of things about being a devil. Alright. Now, if you would excuse us. Kuoh bowed her head slightly and exited the clubroom after having a short conversation with Rias. At the street. The three of them are currently having a conversation while walking back to Issei and Kuoh's house. So you can no longer pray, huh? Yes, I tried to do it, but my head hurt every time I did it. Are you sure you're okay about this, A-chan? Hi. Akeno-san, Kiba-san and Kaneko-chan all welcomed me warm-heartedly and Butchu-san baked cake to welcome me. But Kuoh-san, why do you call me A-chan? Because Asia is my friend. Or should I call you Asia-tan? Kuoh hugged onto Asia and said that playfully. Issei smiled and shook his head when he sees the girls are having a fun time. Until. Pam. The brown-haired boy reacted when he sensed killing intents directed towards him, no, them. And with his bare hand, he simply backhanded away a blue spear that glows that was heading towards him from behind. It's a spear of light. We could have finished you guys off easily. But this isn't our territory, we can't act rashly. Though now that you guys made the first move, it's a different story. He looked around calmly as the atmosphere around them started to change. So you're the one who took Sister Asia away from us. I would kindly advise you to give her back to us. The middle-aged looking gentleman with short black hair and dark blue eyes came out from a shadow and walked towards calmly. His attire consisted of a pale violet trench coat over a white dress shirt with a matching ascot, black pants and shoes, and a black fedora. So you guys finally decided to act, huh? Kuoh. Ah. Issei looked towards his mate who's already in her fox mode and knowing fully what he wanted to say, Kuoh hit Asia behind her and clapped her hands together. A large barrier soon covers the area, trapping them in it. Now that we're totally cut off from the outside world, I suggest that you call your other three friends to come out from the shadows as well. There's no point of hiding and ambushing us. Issei said that while remaining a calm face. Ho-ho. He snooped us out so quickly. I think like him, Calwerner. Quid admitted. This isn't not funny. The girl with blonde hair styled in twin short-side ponytails and blue eyes. She wears a gothic Lolita attire, which consisted of a black Lolita dress with white frills, a large black bow on the front, and a green jewel embedded on the collar, white thigh-high socks, and black shoes. She also wore a large black bow on top of her hair. Following after her is a tall and buxom woman with long, navy blue hair that obscured her right eye, and brown eyes soon walks out from the shadow. Her attire consisted of a violet trench coat-like top with a wide collar, a matching miniskirt, and black-heeled shoes. The trench coat top was open at her chest, giving view to her breasts and cleavage. She also wore a gold necklace around her neck. And the other one? I think her name was Amano something. That's Amano Yuma. And that is not my real name. Issei looked up and see a young woman with a more mature appearance with her eyes having a dark and evil look. She wears a black, strap-like objects, resembling leather, around and under her breasts, a thong-like piece held around her hips by 3 thin straps, gloves that run right up her arms with small lengths of chains hanging from them. Shoulder guard-like objects on her shoulders with 3 large spikes sprouting from her right shoulder, and black thigh-high heel boots. There's also a pair of black wings on her back. Issei covered his eyes when he saw that. Does this woman have no shame? Wearing something like that in public. She is a fallen angel after all. What do you expect? Kuoh retorted calmly. You guys mind introducing yourselves? If not, I'm gonna label you as fallen angels 1, 2, 3, and 4. Issei pointed at Yuma, then to the guy with black fedora, then to Middleton, lastly to Kalwerner. My real name is Rainer. Mine's Donaseek. You can call me Middled. Kalwerner. Issei grins and started cracking his knuckles. Crack. 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 Good. Now that self-introductions are over, let's get this over with. The fallen angels quadruple raised their eyebrows at the same time. A human wants to fight the 4 of us at the same time? I thought the fox girl is going to fight. I won't blame you if you choose to fight Kuoh, but allow me to warn you that if you fight her, you'll end up like the dried-up priest of yours. So you're the one who did that to him. Rainer shouted at them angrily. He killed our friends. We're simply returning the favor. Ah. Donaseek brought out his black wings and created a blue light spear and charges towards Issei. BP little brat. Tyan. GGH. All 4 fallen angels widened their eyes when Issei easily stopped Donaseek's light spear by simply grabbing the blade of the light spear. How is that possible? How can a low-life human stops a light spear just like that? What are you? Issei smiled at Kalwerner and Middle's question. I'm simply a low-life human. On. Buha. Issei delivered an upward punch to Donaseek, causing the fallen angel to cough out blood and crack some his ribs. What is this cough punch? It is inhuman. Ugh. Donaseek fell onto the ground and lost his consciousness. Donaseek. Rainer called out her comrade's name, trying to get a response from him. 3 more to go. Issei looked towards Kalwerner and Middle, who are standing not too far away from him. Ah. With a single sound of his footstep, Issei vanished from his spot and reappeared behind the 2 female fallen angels. Before Kalwerner and Middle even have a chance to pull out their spears. Thud. Thud. He karate chopped at the girl's neck. 1 more to go. Issei moved back a little just to have a light spear went past him in the front. He looked up to see Rainer floating on the sky. Surprise attack will not work on me, Amano something. I told you my name is Rainer. Rainer created 4 spear of lights around her and threw them at Issei again. But Issei simply dodged them with little movements. Missed me. Then stop moving around and let me hit you. Nope. Oh, I almost forgot. You better move from that spot of yours. BZZT. BZZT. Zayip. I. The black lightning came out from a magic circle that appeared above Rainer and struck her directly. Mayday mayday. Thump. Issei said that jokingly when the unconscious fallen angel fell from the sky and landed on the ground. Mission complete. All 4 fallen angels are down. Issei turned around and looks at his mate in Asia with a grin while posing a victory sign. What should we do now? We can't just leave them here lying on the street. Why not just send them to Ria's Gremory Senpai's place? She'll know what to do. I guess so. Snap. With the snap of her finger, magic circles appeared under all 4 fallen angels. After a bright flash appeared, the fallen angels are no longer there. Asia seems to be lost for a moment because she looked dazed ever since Issei fought with the fallen angels. Asia? You there? Issei waved his hand in front of her, bringing her back to the reality. I am sorry. Isan, you're incredible. I didn't know you're this strong. Haha. It's nothing. Now that no one will bother you anymore, let's go back home. You're starting as a high school student tomorrow. Hi. Asia replied happily. At Kuoh Academy after school. Issei and Kuoh are currently heading towards the old clubhouse to pick up Asia. It's been 2 weeks since Asia joined their classroom. She was welcomed by many people and she met a lot of new friends. Issei and Kuoh were supposed to leave Kuoh town after their mission has been complete, but Yasaka suggested that they continue their studies there and build up a better relationship with the devils. Issei started calling Ryasan instead of Rya's Gremory senpai. Kuoh and Ryas are getting much closer, calling each other's name more casually. Asia also made a pact with a baby sprite dragon which she named Issei. The baby sprite dragon likes Asia and Kuoh, but he hates Issei. In the club room. Knock. 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 Come in. With Rya's permission, Issei and Kuoh entered the room. Issei looked around when he noticed that the atmosphere around the room is tense. Bakeno showed her usual smile, Kaneko is eating some sweets, those two are acting like nothing ever happened. Diba is looking at the couple with a forced smile and Asia looks at them nervously. Ryas on the other hand is in a bad mood. Did something happen? Issei asked them directly. Nope. But something will be. Ryas said that in an impatient tone, causing Issei and Kuoh to raise their eyebrows slightly. Then should we leave? No. Please stay. I need some friends to keep me company later on. 15 minutes have passed after Issei and Kuoh sat on the couch. They're currently sitting next to Asia. Asia? What's going on? Why is Ryasan acting so strangely? I also have no idea. The three of them are whispering to each other. Sheen. A silver magic circle with Gremory symbol on it appeared close to the entrance of the clubroom. Ryas stares at the magic circle with disgust. The person who appears from the magic circle is a beautiful woman appearing to be in her early 20s, with silver hair and matching eyes. Her hair, which flows all the way down to her back, features a long braid on each side with small blue bows at the ends, while the rest is let down, ending in twin braids. She wears a blue and white French-made outfit with long sleeves and a white-made headband over her head, with red lipstick as a cosmetic accessory. She looked around the clubroom for a moment and her eyes stopped at both Issei and Kuoh. Kuoh and Issei stood up and greeted the maid. Nice to meet you. I am Kuoh, the next heiress of the Kyoto Youkai Faction. I'm Hyoudou Issei. A human and both Kuno's guardian and boyfriend. Pleased to meet you. Graphia widened her eyes a little at Issei's introduction. She too bowed her head. Good afternoon to you too. I am Graphia Lucifuge. The maid of the Gremory clan. I've heard things about you two from Oju-sama. Just when they were done with their introductions, Issei suddenly pulled Kuoh and Asia away from their seat. What's wrong, Ice? Someone's coming. Sheen. Another magic circle suddenly appears on the floor at Kuno's previous spot. Phenex. Tiba said that in a low voice. But Issei could hear it clearly. The light shines through the room and a person appears from the magicircle. Woo. Flames come out from the magic circle and the room gets flowed with heat. But those heat are nothing to Issei and Kuoh. There is a silhouette of a man inside the flames. When he swings his arm across to the side, the flames disappear. Phew, it's been a while since I came to the humans' world. The one standing there is a man wearing a red suit. Since he's wearing his suit casually, he didn't have a tie and his shirt is open till his chest. He looks like he's in his early 20s. He's handsome, but he seems more of the bad boy type. He has his hands inside his pockets. The guy looks around the room and then smirks after finding Butchu. My lovely Ryas. I came to see you. Ryas looked at him with her eyes half closed. It seems like she doesn't welcome that man. But the latter one doesn't care and approaches Ryas. Now then, Ryas. Let's go and take a look at the ceremony hall. The date of the ceremony is decided so we need to check it before then. The Phoenix guy grabbed Ryas' arm and was about to head to somewhere. Let go of me, Riser. Ryas said that in a deep and serious voice while shaking his hand off. His action also made Kuoh to look at him with disgust and she decided to butt in. Hey, you. You're being rude to Ryas. Is that how you treat a girl? Issei face palmed when his mates jumps in to help Ryas. Oh dear. His action caused Graphia to tilt her head slightly. When Riser turned to look at Kuoh, he was surprised by her appearance. Oh my. What do we have here? I'm sorry I didn't notice you before. You sure are a fine dish. Am I supposed to be flattered by that? Kuoh said that with her eyes half closed just like Ryas. Graphia-san. Can I ask you a question? Issei whispered that on Graphia's ear. What is it, Hyoudou Issei-sama? Who is that guy? Issei asked while pointing at Riser. Riser heard Issei's question and he's surprised by his question. Oh? Ryas, you haven't mentioned me to your servants. I mean, are there guys who don't know me? A reincarnated devil. Even so. I didn't tell them because there was no need. And they're not my servants. You're not a devil, pretty. Riser turned back to look at Kuoh. No. My name is not pretty. It's Kuoh. I'm a Youkai. A kitsune to be more specific. Also the next heiress of the Kyoto Youkai Faction. Kuoh let out her fox ears and tails to prove that to Riser. Such a beautiful name and a beautiful appearance. Nice to meet you, Kuoh. My name is Riser Phenex, a pure-blood high-class devil, third son of the House of Phenex. I am also Ria's husband. You're my type, Kuoh. Do you want to join my harem? No thank you. You're not my type at all. Besides, I'm already seeing someone. And don't call me like we're close or something. While Kuoh and Riser are having a conversation, Issei continued to ask Grafia. He's seriously Ria's husband? Grafia nodded her head. Yes. He is engaged to Ria's Oju-sama. But she doesn't seem to be happy about it. It's an arranged marriage by both families in attempt to unite the families and to preserve the bloodline of pure-blooded devils. I can see that Ria-san is really against the marriage. She is. But there's nothing she can do about it, right? Nope. Nothing. Things then got into Issei's favor when Riser made a stupid move. So who is this lucky guy that you're talking about? That would be Ice. Ice? Never heard of him before. Is he a high-class yokai or something? Nope. I'm 100% a human being. Riser looked towards Issei, who just answered him with a small smile. Riser on the other hand looked at Issei as if he's an insect or some trash. And you are? I'm the lucky guy that's in a relationship with Kuoh. I'm also her guardian. Riser made a small pause for a moment and soon burst into a laughter. You're that lucky guy, a low-life human. In a relationship with the next heiress of the Kyoto Youkai Faction. And you also said that you're her guardian. Looks like Kyoto Youkai Faction is lack of sufficient members of bodyguards. To pick a human to protect someone so important. Hilarious. You should pick your servant more carefully, Kuoh. Your random action could bring shame to your entire faction. Issei just smiled when Riser was laughing and making fun of him. But Kuoh can't take it. How dare you belittle Ice. He can just beat the CR. Issei put a stop to Kuoh before she could say anything further. It's alright, Kuoh. Do you mind if I say something, Riser-san? Go ahead, human. Riser smirked as he continues to belittle Issei. I don't mind you look down on me or something. After all, I am nothing but a human. I am nothing like you, who is a pure-blood high-class devil. That's right. You're nothing but an insect. But. Crack. 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 Splick. Splick. Everyone widened their eyes when the flooring started forming cracks and peeling out. Cracks are forming on the walls as well. Glare. Issei's malice glare sent everyone in the room to freeze. I would advise you to watch your mouth and not laugh her choices when you have no idea what this human standing in front of you is capable of. You dare threaten me, you a low-life human, I could erase you this instant. Riser tried to hide his fear and retaliate by flaring out his flames from his body. Before he could even think properly, he threw a right punch directly at Issei's face. Ice. Ice-san. Ice-kun. Ice-senpai. Rias, Asia, Akeno, Kiba and Kaneko got worried when they heard that sound. Riser widened his eyes when he felt his hand shaking. A hand actually stopped his Phoenix flame fist. Riser's fist was slowly pushed back and that's when he saw Issei's angered expression. Now that's rude. Crack. 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 More cracks appeared on the walls and more flooring got peeled off by mere force. Issei let out a surge of power. Sending Rias, Asia, Akeno, Kiba, Kaneko and even Riser 2 down to their knees. Hyoudou Issei-sama, please calm down a little. Ice. Kuoh wrapped her hand with Issei's, making the brown-haired boy to cool down almost immediately. Thus allowing the devils to have the ability to breathe once again. Sorry about that. Issei apologized as he looked around the clubroom to see the damages he had made. Grafia-san. I wish to have a wager. A wager? With who? With Riser-san. Everyone widened their eyes at Issei's request. May I ask why would you wish to do that? I want to prove to Riser-san that Kuno's choice isn't a mistake. I wish to show him what I'm capable of. I want to defeat him in an official match. To prove to him that I'm superior even though I'm just a low-life human. And what's your bet? If I win? Issei looked at Kuoh for a moment and Kuoh looked at Grafia. Riser-san will have to call off the marriage between him and Rias-chan. The devils were surprised by Kuno's words. What the hell? You can't do that. Riser argued, but he was ignored. And if Hyoudou Issei-sama lose? Kuoh closed her eyes for a moment. The marriage goes on and Riser-san can do anything to me. And I mean anything. All eyes are on Kuoh when she said that boldly. I don't have the power to make this decision. Do you mind if I discuss this with my master? Not at all. We'll wait right here. Grafia bowed her head and teleported away. Issei pinched the bridge of his nose a little and spoke to Kuoh in a low voice. Hey, you just have to put yourself into the bet, do you? We must have a leverage, right? Our leverage would be me. Since he's been staring at my body for quite some time. Kuoh took a peek at Riser while having her eyes half closed to see the phoenix is still staring at her body. Riser-san. You done staring at Kuno's body yet? Issei's direct question caused the phoenix to snap back into the reality. I wasn't staring at all. Rias walked towards Kuoh and asks her a question directly. Kuoh? Why would you do that? Why would you help me? Rias-chan technically helped us in keeping Asia safe. We should at least do something to repay you back. Issei then jumped into the conversation. And Rias-san. Sorry for the damages. Heh. It's alright. We can just fix that easily. Bang. The sound of the door being forced open could be heard. Rias. Are you alright? A young bespectacled woman in her late teens with a slim figure, black hair styled in a short bob cut and violet eyes rushed into the room, looking at Rias worriedly. 7 more people came in after her. Sona, what are you doing here? And I'm fine. What's wrong? We've sensed a surge of power coming from here. I thought something bad may happen. The young bespectacled woman, Sona, looked around the room for a moment. What in the world happened here? Before Rias could answer her friend's question, a magic circle appears and from the magic circle came Grafia and another man. The person standing next to Grafia is a handsome and young, having the appearance of a man in his early 20s with shoulder-length crimson red hair and blue-green eyes, similar to Rias. The handsome young man bowed his head slightly when his eyes landed on Issei and Kuoh. Pleased to meet Kuoh-san and Hyoudou, Issei-kun. I am Surzich's Lucifer, one of the Yondai Mao. Kuoh and Issei bowed their heads in return. Pleased to meet you, Lucifer-sama. Isay and I are from the Kyoto Youkai Faction. It sure is an honor to meet one of the Mao. I heard from Grafia that you wish to have a formal fight with Riser-kun. Issei nodded. Yay. May I ask you why? I don't mind if he looked down on me or anything. But he mocked the Kyoto Youkai Faction, saying that we lack of sufficient members of bodyguards just because I'm Kuno's guardian. He also made fun of Kuno's decision. Those are the things I will not tolerate. Issei narrowed his eyes and turned to look at Riser, which made the latter one to flinch a little. And to borrow a phrase from Riser-san. Your random action could bring shame to your entire faction. You should think twice before you open your mouth next time. You piece of. That's enough, Riser-kun. If what Hyoudou Issei-kun said is true, then you really need to watch that mouth of your. Making fun of the next heiress of Kyoto Youkai Faction is the stupidest mistake you ever made. The relationship between the devil's side and Kyoto's side may end up sour because of you. But Riser was about to retort but chose to shut his mouth when he saw Surzich's serious expression. Surzich's then look at Issei. What kind of formal fight do you wish to have, Hyoudou Issei-kun? One-on-one? How about the game you guys are familiar with? The rating game. Old devils widened their eyes at Issei's suggestion. You want to use rating game as your formal fight? Surzich's asked for further confirmation. Yay. Kuoh will be my king. And you will be? The rest of the 15 chess pieces. I will be Kuno's queen, knight, bishop, rook and pawn. The magic circle soon appears underneath Surzich's and Grafia. Very well then. Come. I'll take you guys to your battleground. Issei and Kuoh walked into the magic circle while Riser followed after them nervously. Rias and Sona looked at each other for a while. Oh Ani-sama. Surzich's smiled when he heard Rias calling him. What is it, Rias? Do you mind if Sona, me and our peerage come with you and observe the match? Not at all. Come. We have no time to waste. Rias, Sona and their peerages now all stand within the magic circle. Shein. With a single flash of light, Issei and Kuoh were transported to another location. Both of them are now at the Occult Research Club. Issei and Kuoh looked around the room curiously. Rias-chan and the others aren't with us. Did we really get teleported? We did. The air around us has changed. Besides, Riser-san and his peerage are on the student council's room in the new building. Kuoh-sama and Hyoudou Issei-sama, can you hear me? Grafia's voice could be heard from the speaker in the club room. We can hear you loud and clear, Grafia-san. Surzich-sama, Oju-sama, Sona-sama and the rest of us have been teleported to the viewing room. I will be the arbiter in this match. Kuoh-sama and Hyoudou Issei-sama's base will be the Occult Research Club's club room, while Riser-sama's base is the student council's room located at the new building. When Riser-sama's pawns reach your base, they will be able to use promotion that allow them to use the power of a queen, knight, bishop or rook. If your enemy is able to corner Kuoh-sama and forced her to resign, you'll lose the match even though Hyoudou Issei-sama is still standing. So all I have to do is keep their paws off Kuoh, right? That simple. A word of advice, Hyoudou Issei-sama. Riser-sama has a complete set of his chess piece. You should be careful. Thanks for the warning, Grafia-san. But we'll do fine. The game will start in 15 minutes. You two may take your time and think of a strategy. We wish you two the best of luck. Alright. Thank you, Grafia-san. Graphia's voice was then cut off, leaving the couples in the club room. What's the plan, Ice? Direct approach or stealth? We'll be fine with both options. But I want to have a direct approach. Haha. You want to take them head on, right? That is so you. Kuoh hugged the back of her mate and said that with a smile. Just make sure you'll stay close to me throughout the entire match. Hi, Ice. Jew. Kuoh put her lips on his after finishing their little discussion. And both of them had entered into their own little world. In the viewing room. What the? How can he act so limpid in a situation like this? The young man with short blonde hair and grey eyes looked at Issei shockingly. Keep it down, Saji. Sona said that to her pawn, Saji, in a strict manner. But Kaichu. Look at him. Kissing Kuoh-san like that. They're in a relationship. It's pretty normal if you ask me. Kuzuo. Showing off his relationship like that. He's really the enemy of all man. Saji said angrily while chewing his handkerchief and looks at Issei with an envious look. Sona on the other hand pushed her glasses up slightly while looking at Issei. But you're right, he's facing against Riser, who not only has a full set of servant but his record in rating game is 8 wins and 2 losses. He also intentionally lost those 2 games on purpose for one of the households his family is close to. He shouldn't be that relaxed, and a direct approach is simply the dumbest idea ever. And you're right, Sona. Sona turned her head to see Surziches standing close to her. Surzic-sama. It's really dumb for someone to go directly against 15 devils and 1 high-class devil who possesses a high regeneration abilities. Especially when he's a human. Sona added. True. But what if Hyoudou Issei-kun could really do it? What? Ria's told me what happened when she chose Kiba-kun and Kaneko-chan to have a spar against him. She also told me that he sent 4 defeated fallen angels that were living in Kuoh town to her. Well, that's. There is something special that the boy possesses. I want to know what it is. What makes him so special that the leader of Kyoto Youkai Faction would leave her daughter in the hands of a human being? Surziches smiled and is eager to find out what Issei is capable of. In the school gym. 4 girls are standing in the middle of the gymnasium, waiting for Kuoh and Issei to show up. A young black-haired woman with blue-green eyes, dressed in a navy blue kipao with gold accent. Her hair has 2 Chinese-style buns on both sides of her head. Standing on her right are 2 very young girls with turquoise hair, which they keep tied to one side of their head with a yellow ribbon, and they have blue eyes. They wear gym clothes and hold a chainsaw in their hands. And lastly, on the young woman's left is another young girl with blue hair and light brown eyes dressed in a white haori with a red obi, under red happy. There's a wooden staff on her hand. The young black-haired woman wiped her forehead when she felt that she's actually sweating. Hey guys. Is it me or is this place getting hotter? The young woman asked her comrades. It is getting hotter. Just when the blue-haired young girl was about to answer. The massive fireball suddenly burst into the gym through the front door but exploded before it even reached them. The force of the explosion was so strong that it sent the girls crashing out of the gym. The gym was completely eradicated. Light started appearing on the girl's body. They're vanishing. Riser Phenex has 1 rook and 3 pawns, retired. At the school field. Issei and Kuoh are currently walking casually into the enemy's trap. Issei knew that they were already surrounded by Riser's servants, but it doesn't matter. They stopped at the center of the field. Issei clapped his hands together. BDMMMM. The ground around him started to shake a little as the young man is releasing tremendous amount of aura. BZZT. Crack. Krong. Dark clouds started to gather above them and black lightnings are stringed down from the sky. Lightning dragon. The ones that were hiding in the bushes looked up when they heard a roar of a dragon coming from above. All eyes widened and their bodies shook in fear on what's in front of them. Descending from the sky is a huge eastern dragon made from the black lightning. Its length is about 15 meters long. PRRRRR. The black lightning eastern dragon growled lowly as it wrapped its body around Issei and Kuoh, guarding them. Come here, boy. The eastern dragon closed his eyes and lowered his head slowly, allowing the brown-haired young man to touch him. Dying. The eastern dragon suddenly opened his eyes when he received a message from its creator. Go get them. Under Issei's command, the eastern dragon sent out a roar, flew straight towards the bushes that were not too far away from them in high speed. Whoosh. Before the brown-haired young woman with knight's armor and a headband could say anything, the eastern dragon went through her, engulfing her whole. Riser Phenex as 1 knight, retired. Parliament. The young woman with a mask covering the right side of her face stood out from her covers when she saw her teammate eaten in front of her. You damn brat. She charged towards Issei. Wanting to punch him so badly. Click. Whoosh. With a snap of his fingers, the eastern dragon came down from the sky and taken its next victim. Riser Phenex as 1 rook, retired. Isabella. We have to deal with that dragon first. Bomb. 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 The busty woman with long, wavy purple hair that folds all the way down to her back and matching eyes flew out immediately from her hiding spot and started bombarding the Eastern Dragon with her magic staff-like scepter. Coming out after the busty woman is a young girl with long blonde hair and dark blue eyes. Her hair were tied with blue ribbons and twin ponytail with large drill-like curls. She had a wings of fire on her back. The sibling in his peerage. Why would he do that? Issei asked that to himself when he saw and sensed, properly, the young girl. One after another, more and more female devils came out from their hiding spots. The queen and 2 bishops were desperately trying to stop the Eastern Dragon, while the remaining 1 knight and 5 pawns were aiming to defeat Issei and Kuoh. Good. Everyone's out. This just makes it even easier. Pennsylvania. The brown-haired young man clapped his hands together again. PRRR. The Eastern Dragon suddenly loses its 4 men changed into a countless numbers of small black lightning balls. What the hell? All the female devils looked around them to see the small lightning balls had completely surrounded them, trapping them inside. I would advise you not move a single muscle of yours. If you move, these little guys will move as well. You damn human. Zayayip. When the knight tightened her grip on her massive sword and was about to swing it at Issei, 5 of the lightning balls automatically flew straight at her, shocking her. The knight soon fell onto the ground and lights covered her entire body. Riser Phenex as 1 knight, retired. You. Zayayip. The busty woman and a woman wearing a kimono lifted her scepter hand and aimed at Issei. But before they could even fire their spells, they got zapped by those lightning balls first. Riser Phenex as 1 queen and 1 bishop, retired. Hey. Sometimes, people just don't listen. Issei sighed and looked towards the remaining girls. Please stay right there, alright. My business is with Riser-san. Not you girls. If you choose to stand in my way, I will have no choice. The girls simply kept on nodding their heads. Click. With a snap of his fingers, he removed the lightning balls that were surrounding the girls, allowing them to have some room to breathe a little, and he turned towards the new school building. Kusanagi. With his single word, a katana manifested on Issei's left hand. The aura around the young man increases once again. Shine. The black blade ridge shines when the young man unsheathed it, revealing the glowing red swirling pattern. What are you planning to do? The young girl with drill-like blonde hair asked him with fears in her tone. I'm going to cut the school to flush Riser-san out. Sa. 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 The next thing you know, Issei is continuously swinging that sword of his at the school building, creating tones of razor winds heading towards the school building. Shine. 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 The razor winds went past the school cleanly. Praxchch dawn. 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 The new school building started falling apart after receiving the numerous numbers of slashes. Less than a minute, both Issei and Kuoh could see someone bursts out from the rubbles and flew straight at them in high speed. Curse you human. It's Riser. And he's pissed. He's heading straight at Issei with his left hand coated in fire. His fist, however, was easily caught by Issei once again. That's right. Show me everything you got, Riser-san. Kuoh. Issei flared out his inherited flames from the fire celestial dragon on his right hand. Biwaya. Hot. 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 Riser quickly pulls his left hand just in time before his hand was burned severely. What kind of flame is that? There's no way a mere fire can burn me. Oh, this is the flame of fire celestial dragon. Issei showed his fire-coated left arm to Riser. TCH. A flame that surpasses the Phenex clan impossible. I'm just stating the facts here. Whether you believe it or not is up to you. Kuoh. Issei exerts even more of his power, thus releasing even more of his flames. Riser and his servants widened their eyes when they could not believe how much heat Issei is generating heat. The heat was so strong that it caused Riser to take a couple of steps away from him. My clothes, they're melting. Riser was shocked to see his clothes are melting away. Mine's melting as well. The girls covered themselves up quickly. It's not just their clothing, the environment around them were affected by the heat as well. The leaves on the trees and bushes were all dried up instantly and turned to ash. The barks dried up pretty quick as well. Cracks started forming on the school field. Riser is desperately covering his lower half in front of Issei. He then saw Kuoh, which her clothes still remained fine. Why the hell isn't your clothes melting? Kuoh just smiled proudly and answered Riser honestly. I am Ice's mate. How could I call myself one if I can't even withstand this kind of heat? Issei then asked Riser while looking at him with a small smile. So, Riser-san. Do you still wanna fight? Like hell I can. I don't even have my clothes on. You've proven your point. You're strong. I resign this match. Now get me out of here. Riser Phenex-sama's resign confirmed. It is the victory of Kuno-sama and Hyoudou Issei-sama. Issei powered down immediately after hearing that announcement. Mew. The young man widened his eyes slightly when he felt the sensation of something soft on his back. We did it, Ice. We won the game. Kuno was hugging on to him happily. Yay. We did it, didn't we? And you showed that how strong you really are. They won't make fun of you anymore. Issei turned around to face Kuno. You know I really don't mind what their thoughts about me are, right? Kuno frowned a little when she heard that. But that's… Jew. Kuno was about to protest until something landed on her lips and that caught her off guard. It's Issei's lips. The young man then looks at her while grinning. Come on, smile. We've won. No frowning or they'll create more wrinkles on your head. Aka Ice. Kuno said that with blushes on her cheeks. Hehehe. Issei grins when he saw his mate's reaction. End of the here. So that's it for today's video guys. Before you go, just like the video and share it with your friends. Bye.